Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillar. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to...
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button, and everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks. Today we are going to be coming through with another very, very interesting show, y'all. You know, I get these great ideas. You know, I think some of them come from God, if not all. Because I get some ideas that's just too good to pass up sometime. And I believe that's what we got going on today, y'all. Today we are going to do a show, Abort Mission, a man's right to choose on trial. Yes, y'all, this is Abort Mission, a man's right to choose on trial. We have a very interesting subject matter. You know, saw a very interesting news story covered by one of my original Habitual Line Stepper brother. Okay, my original Habitual Line Stepper brother. Shout out to Kev of Black Man Being Brutally Honest. Very interesting story that I put in a link in the description for. If you don't know, if you're new. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we go too far into that, we're going to stop for a moment. And I want to give out some thank yous, because I want to say shout out to all the people who have given me views, because I do thank you and appreciate you for listening. Whoever it is and however long it was, you got to say thank you. Got to say thank you. Appreciate you. Also got to say shout out to all the people who come through and hit that like button, because that's a huge deal. And I want people to continue to hit that like button. I don't care how old it is. When you happen to find the stream, hit that like button, because it helps. It helps. Okay. We also got people who they got something new, hyping you up. So everybody, make sure you hype me up. Okay, make sure you hype me up whenever there's a possibility to do so. And I got to give a really, really big special thank you out to all the people who have given financial contributions to the channel. Okay, y'all, because I ain't rich, I ain't famous, like other folks. I don't get to use that. I know y'all be saying some stuff. No, I'm y'all remember. Roger ain't got it like that. I'm gonna keep on saying that no matter what. But Roger ain't got it like that. So I just got to be better than other people, and I do the best I can to make sure you get the best show on social media day in, day out, y'all. So make sure you're locked in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Chicago time. Make sure you're locked in over here. But thank you to everybody who does that, because it's a very big deal. So, but I got to give everybody their credit. So shout out to the one, the only, the sponsor of today's stream, Shabazz American Freeman. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. Y'all, I tell y'all, big or small, I do appreciate it all. Okay, big or small, I do appreciate it all. So thank you very much. Shout out to Shabazz American Freeman, the sponsor of today's stream. Yeah, and let me give a few shout outs to some of the first people to check in, because when you start out a show, it's always great to see that you got a few people rocking with you, ready to go in the chat. But there could only be one, so shout out to that one today, y'all. That one today, my main man. Okay, the brother who helped keeps it all the line, the pit master himself, Chef Mike's Roundtable. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Appreciate you big time, brother. Appreciate you big time. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do. All right. Shout out to Patrick Saint. I see you in the building as well. Great to have you. My main man, Trev Bentley, is in the house representing like no other. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hell Hydra. Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. Great to see you. Great to see you. J Dub is in the building. The deputy on the grill is here. Shout out for representing the pit crew. My main man, Floyd Thompson, is here. Yay, yay. Good to have you. Good to have you. Jay Moore is in the house, y'all. Jay Moore is in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. The Righteous Teacher is here. We got Grab Second Get Eddie in the building. Afro Merchant is checking in. Great to have you. Kevin 3905 is in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tunnel Runner has checked in. Glad to have you, my friend. Glad to have you, my friend. Y'all, and I definitely believe gonna be a great show today, because we gonna get into this, y'all. Okay, we gonna get into this one, y'all. We got a man. We got a woman. We got a pregnancy. Or at least we had one. Okay, at least we had one. But you know what? Shout out to Kevin 3905. He says, Roger, unrelated thought. Thanks for a platform that allows Black men to practice public speaking and to showcase our collective intelligence. Well, you know what? Thank you very much for saying that, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And of course, you're welcome. You're welcome, because that is definitely encouraged here. That is definitely encouraged here. We can shine, y'all, and we can show that to the world. And it's great to be able to do it without asking or begging for somebody's permission to do so. So shout out to you, Kevin 3905, for making that statement. Appreciate you. And I'm definitely glad to do it. Just glad that the Lord can use me to do something like this. And that's real talk. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Y'all, we got a man. We got a woman. And, we technically had a pregnancy, but, this is going to happen. Things like this will happen time and time again. Okay. So not necessarily gonna be about the people who are actually in the coverage that my habitual line stuff brother did. But I wanted y'all to see, this example of what's going on. Okay. Now, depending upon how long y'all been rocking with me, y'all know I done said some things. And I got some reason that I say some of the things that I say. Okay. And I've lost multiple channels, and some of y'all been with me through multiple channels. And, hopefully we won't have to run into that problem anymore. Okay, hopefully we ain't got to run into that problem anymore. But there's a reason I say some of the things that I say, and I think this story here highlights, something that I really believe black men need to take a little bit more seriously. And y'all, you got to use the power you have. It's great to look for more power, but don't forget to use the power that you got. Okay, because everyone has some individual power, which I've preached for many years. Okay, and you got to learn to use your individual power toward the collective goal. So we got a very interesting turn of events. We got a man who's with a woman. Man gets woman pregnant. Man makes a decision that he doesn't want to have a child with the woman he got pregnant. Now, a lot of people, we just get on our high horses and we'll say, well, he should have just never got her pregnant. Okay. Do people have a point when they say that? Sure. There's somebody with a point when they say that. A lot of times people just say it because they are afraid of women. Because I'm gonna say it till people figure it out. Black men have definitely been trained to be afraid of black women. So they're just gonna say that because they're afraid. They're afraid to say anything but what they believe a black woman wants to hear. Okay? And a lot of black men, unfortunately, base their manhood off women. Yep. There's a lot of us, and we got to take accountability for this, y'all. There's a lot of us who believe we're a man only because what we can do or what approval we can gain from a woman. So some of us will just say something like that because we're looking for approval. All right. Now, a lot of people can, a lot of people got issues, different issues, thinking about if a woman should or should not be able to have an abortion. There's been a lot of things that has happened over the years and in the news about women having an abortion or choosing not to get an abortion. And the thing is, when it comes right down to it, if a man would like a woman to get an abortion, he's stuck with whatever decision she makes. And that's just what it comes down to. He's basically stuck with whatever decision she makes. She can say yay or she can say nay. And crazy part is when it comes to black women, it seems like they choose the exact opposite of what you want as a black man. And that's just what it seems like to me. I've seen men cry over or beg women to have the baby. And for some reason, when they do that, it seems like the woman just says, no, I'm not going to have it. Then I've seen men who, cry or beg because she is pregnant and they want her to get rid of the baby. And it's like, because he said it, she just going to keep it anyway. It's like they want to do the exact opposite of what you want. Okay, they want to do the exact opposite of what you want. Now, I am not a person, I'm going to just tell you realistically, y'all, because of certain things that I've learned. And I do believe abortion is a woman's issue. It is a woman's issue because only the woman can choose to go get an abortion. Okay, a lot of people try to make it out to a man thing. Now, what would men do? Normally, men will pay for it. I get you there. I ain't never heard of a woman paying for her own abortion. I ain't never heard of that one. Okay. I ain't gonna say it ain't never happened once, but I ain't never heard of a woman actually paying for it. I've heard women say stuff about government programs and things like that that they can get to pay. And, or it's pretty much going to come down to a dude going to pay, even if it's not his baby. If he believes there's a chance that it is his baby. Because, women do some sneaky stuff out here. So if he believes that there's a chance, not that he necessarily believes she's even pregnant, not that he necessarily believes she's pregnant by him. There are men who will pay for a woman to go down to the chop shop. Why? Because he don't want to take the chance of being stuck being the father of a child with her. That's just what it is. Black men, we actually can say for the most part at this point, as much as we love black women, collectively we are deciding we don't want them to be our children's mother. It's a crazy world out here. We love them. We want to do things with them, but based on how they operate and how they behave, is now in 2025 is now turned into a situation where and this is hard for people to accept, but the proof is in the pudding. Black men don't want to have babies with black women. I am not telling y'all for an instant that black men don't want to have children. I am not saying that at all. What I'm saying is we don't trust black women. We don't trust them to be mothers of our children. Not saying we ain't had a baby with a black woman that we really didn't want to happen. But I'm saying from a collective state, you can actually start to see that black men, we don't want black women to be the mothers of our children. And it's because of how they operate. Now, people can be mad about it, or people can just deal with it what it is. But you don't get a society of most of the men of a group didn't have a baby by a woman without some major catastrophe that happened. Now, this stuff could be explained in the past. In the past, it was, people didn't really live as long. Okay? You can say that about the past. If you died at average age of death was 30 to 39, something like that, you could explain why a bunch of men wouldn't necessarily have a baby with a woman. You could explain that. If you had a famine, come across your country and take out a large percentage of men or a large percentage of women, you can explain why the men didn't get the women pregnant. You can explain that. If you had disease run rampant, see, back in the day, you could explain some of these things, because people say, well, you know what? Well, you go through history, it wasn't that really, it wasn't a large amount of men that was necessarily having babies with the women anyway. Well, there was things happening that made sense. You could understand it. There was wars that happened. We've had 2 world wars, okay, and various other wars, and you can understand that guy grew up, ended up in the military, fought for his country, he died before he got anyone pregnant. You could explain all that, but in 2025, ain't none of that stuff really happened. We ain't had no recent issue that could explain why black men have not had babies with black women outside of the fact that they just haven't wanted to. It just is what it is. They just didn't want to. And I know some people they're going to talk about how many, abortions of black women have had over a period of time since the 70s. And it's in the tens of millions. Can't say that's not true. But that does say if, I can't tell you how many was encouraged by men because there's no stat to figure something like that out. You got to do a guesstimation. But then when you also look at the fact that black women don't pay for abortions, okay, so the men are saying, okay, let me go and pay for it because I'd rather just get it out the way. And then, truth be told, how many men paid for an abortion that never actually happened because she was never pregnant? Black men clearly like having families, but unfortunately, with black women, we're a little skeptical about her being the mom. And I do believe that makes sense because I've said time and time again, I don't care what kind of lawyer you got. If a lawyer had to fight in a court of law, okay, against a man who presented the case that black women do not love their children, whoever gets the assignment of saying black women do love their children, they in trouble. Okay. They cannot win that case. If you talk about what it looks like collectively in America, they can't win that case. If you're taking the side that black women love their children, how you gonna win? You're not winning that case. You're about to lose and lose big on that one. And that's just what it is. All right. But now we have an issue that came up where a man has gotten a woman pregnant. Okay. Okay. He got the woman pregnant. She tells him about the pregnancy for whatever his reasons are, which we don't know. He don't want to have a baby with her. It's that simple, y'all. Now, a lot of women would say, well, he shouldn't have got her pregnant. Well, my thing is she shouldn't have got pregnant without being married. It is what it is. And once something is done, all that woulda, shoulda, coulda is out the way at that particular point. So yeah, he did something he shouldn't have did. People, quote unquote, make mistakes, right? See, it's a mistake when women get pregnant, but it's never a mistake when men get pregnant. Y'all ever notice how when you see how black women talk, when black women get pregnant, it's a mistake. If black man gets somebody pregnant, it's never a mistake. He supposed to know better. Okay. But all that to the side, we got this case where she pregnant, y'all. It just is what it is. They done did the do, she pregnant. Okay. Now I understand a lot of people gonna come at people come at things from a moral issue. And I'm not gonna say there ain't a moral issue there. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, as a person with Christian beliefs, a few years back, I heard somebody explain some things. So now I actually do believe that abortion is not necessarily the best thing to do because you're interrupting God's plan. If God brings a child into the world, he got a plan. Okay, regardless of what we're doing, he got a plan. Okay, so if you can have an abortion, you're going to interrupt God's plan. Do you really want to do that? But I get it. A lot of people ain't thinking about it that way. I didn't used to think about it that way. But because of how the laws are in America, where you have the women covered under my body, my choice, man got to just deal with whatever she decides. All right. And people have been pretty much cool with that. From an overall society standpoint, we have accepted my body, my choice when it comes to what women do. Okay. We've accepted that. Now, this is the thing. This is a very interesting situation because this man made a decision that he did not want to have a child with her. She made a decision that she want to have a child with him. Now, the story is the man somehow got her to take some pills. Well, that's what we assuming it. That stops her from carrying out that pregnancy to term. Now, I'm going to say that was clever. However he got that done, that was clever. So basically, the man found a way to have an abortion. Now, see, my thing is this. You put a man on trial because he found a way to have an abortion. The women have been in control of abortion. And see, I do understand the law plays with what a fetus is on a regular basis. Because let's say a person goes on trial for murder. You kill a woman that's pregnant. Okay, she hasn't had the baby, but she's considered pregnant. Or she is pregnant, and they consider the child another person. So instead of getting a single death when it comes to the woman, you get 2 deaths when it comes to that particular woman. Now, the man might have killed 12 people. That don't make no difference. If there was 12 people who went down, and then one of the 12 people was a woman who was pregnant, boom, they get you for 13. Okay, we're going to put 13 murders on you because she was carrying a child. Now, if a woman goes to the chop shop and she gets rid of a child, she is basically in the same condition that the woman who got shot was in when a guy got hit for 2 murders for her and not a single murder. So it's only considered murder at the convenience of law enforcement. Is that how we doing it? Is it only murder at the convenience of law enforcement? Is it only murder depending upon what the woman thinks? Well, I wanted the child. So if you do something to me and I lose the child, is murder. You know, say somebody kicked you down a flight of stairs, so you lose the child. So is that murder? But if she go to the chop shop, that's not murder. You see how people playing with it? You know, you kick her down some stairs, she lose the child. They'll go after murder. But if she go to the chop shop and get rid of that thing, it's just what? A surgery? It's just a medical process. It's nothing. Is that stem cell? Is that a stem cell donation? What we doing? So now, my thing is, we do have laws, and we're gonna have different ideas that influence what we think a law should or shouldn't be. So this is a very interesting case, and I had to ask myself, y'all, should this man be considered guilty under the eyes of the law? And of course, I don't have the power to put him in court with me as a judge. I don't have the power to do that. But we always got the power to put something on trial in the court of public opinion. And that's what we doing, y'all. That's what we doing. Okay? All right? Now, shout out to y'all, Morgan. He said in basketball, they call it an assist. Well, maybe that's what we want to call it. But the man gave an assist when it comes to her ending the pregnancy. And this is the thing, y'all. If a woman can end the pregnancy, should a man be allowed to end the pregnancy? Now, this is the thing. There was an interesting way to go about it where the man done slipped her. You know, he done quote unquote slipped her Mickey. And she lost the child. Now, I'm not saying slipping somebody a Mickey is cool. But in order for him to have his abortion, that's what he had to do. He had to slip her a Mickey. And I'm saying, hey, that's interesting. Okay. Now, I understand a lot of people going to try to react and say, well, that's just so bad. And we don't, who is he to give us something? And you know what? Regular terms, I would totally agree. It makes all the sense in the world that we don't want to start justifying men giving women things that they didn't agree to take. I'm not gonna be out here saying it's cool to hit slip women Mickeys on some drugging them up so you can have your way with them or something like that, or so you can kidnap them or whatever. That's a slippery slope. That is a slippery slope. But I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to whether a woman can carry a child to term or not, we are already on a slippery slope. Okay, the best skiers in the world can't really handle these slopes. We already on that slippery slope. So if someone is going to say, hey, this, what about this being a slippery slope? We already slipping, man. We already slipping. DMX had a song, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. We already there, man. We already there. But should we be there? As a society that is supposed to be able to govern itself, okay, we have lawmakers and things for a reason. The lawmakers should be on the side of the people. Just is what it is. If it's cool for the woman to do it, can I convict the man who did it? So I had to look at this, y'all, because I've definitely encouraged black men, and I'm going to do it again today. I encourage black men that anytime you get a chance, you try to make sure you make it on any jury you're ever invited on. Okay? It's power in those jury seats, y'all. It's power in those jury seats. So guess what? In this case, this particular man, he probably burned up. I'm going to keep it real. He probably burned up. Once it play out, I mean, eviction was technically inevitable. But what happens if black men can start getting in these jury seats? See, now we can do something to exercise power that not only affects us personally, it could affect a lot of black men. There's a responsibility that comes with being a part of the black community. If you are a respectable, productive, functional brother that believe in black men's leadership, the last thing we should be doing is trying to avoid jury duty. We need to get in there and make some changes, y'all. You can make a change from the jury. Because when I heard the story, and I asked myself, would I choose to convict this man under this story? It's hard for me to say I would convict him because of what he did. He didn't assault her. He didn't shoot her. He didn't do anything like that. He didn't do anything to quote unquote cause her harm. Now you can say the fact that you could say the abortion was harm to her. I understand that, but outside of that, he didn't do anything to cause her harm. Not gonna say he didn't like the woman, not gonna say he didn't love the woman, but whatever his reasons are, he was not ready to have a child with her. And yeah, I get people gonna say, well, he could have just put on a condom. Yeah, he could have, but we ain't gonna stop right there because that ain't what the story about. The story is about, can a man have a right to choose? Okay. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He said, side note, they caught the unsupervised white guy yesterday. I saw some stuff about that. I did see a couple things about that. I didn't really look into it. I just kind of saw some headlines and moved past because I don't really care that well, no, I ain't gonna say that. So I may revisit some of the Charlie Kirk stuff going on. I may revisit that soon, y'all. So, next week, some stuff may come up again. Okay. But shout out to Afro Merchant. I do appreciate you giving me that update. And that's real talk. I appreciate you for giving me that update. That's real talk. So now, y'all, we got this thing going on where the man, not saying he went about it in the best way, he got an abortion. Okay, he got an abortion. Now the thing is, they may say, "Hey, well, it's a murder because she didn't want to have an abortion." So now my thing is, if you put a man on trial and you hit him with a murder charge over an abortion, as a man, can I actually agree with that? In a society where we say it's not a murder when a woman does it, can I agree that if a man does the exact same thing, that it's a murder? See, now you done put me in a situation. Okay? Because if it's the law, if it's illegal for a man to do it, it should be illegal for a woman to do it. So if it's a legal act of a woman to have an abortion, then it should be a legal act for a man to have one. Now, if it's an illegal act for a woman to have an abortion, then I agree it should be an illegal act for a man to have an abortion. So now, if I'm ever on a case like this, I got to make some decisions, don't I? I got to make some decisions. They can present the case and tell me the facts, but I got to make a decision. Is it abortion when a woman, is it murder when a woman does it? Or is it murder only when a man does it? Now, this is more of an unusual case. You've never really heard about a man slipping somebody a Mickey to get them to have one. You know, I'm not gonna say the dude should be slipping a woman a Mickey to get her to have one. But when I look at what the charge, if you're going to charge him for murder or even manslaughter, anything like that, can I agree with that part and convict him on that? No, I don't think I should. I got an issue with that one, y'all. I got an issue with that one. See, when somebody commits a crime, they'll throw all kinds of charges for the same crime. I don't even really believe that that's cool because it's one crime, and why you getting multiple charges for the same crime? I don't think that's legally cool because that ain't how we supposed to operate based on what I understand. Okay, that's not how we supposed to operate. To me, that was just a way for people to start finding out a way to put black men in prison longer. Okay, you gonna hit them with multiple charges for the same crime. A crime is a crime. You only need one charge for the crime. Okay. Now, when it comes to murder, oh, I don't know if I can give him a conviction on that one. Now, if you got another way to charge him, maybe you could charge him something because he slipped the woman a Mickey. Okay, I can understand maybe a conviction over slipping a woman a Mickey. I can see that one. Okay, I can see that one because if he gave it to her without her knowing about it, and she gonna stick to the story that she just didn't know, and then it happened, and according in this situation, it was admitted to. I mean, we can get it, a proper charge for doing that. I'm down with. Okay, a proper charge for doing that. I don't know what you would charge, but a proper charge for doing something like that, yeah, I can rock with that. I can rock with, slipping, punishment for slipping her Mickey. I can definitely rock with that. But if you tell me that I have a choice whether to convict him for murder over him doing the exact same thing that women can legally do, I can't ride that train with you. Okay. Now people may say, what do you believe in abortion? It don't make no difference, man. I believe in the law being equally punishable. That's what I believe in also. I definitely believe in the law should equally punish people. It shouldn't punish this person, but then do different to that person. So a man does something that women do that, they're allowed to do every single day in this country. And shout out to all my people listening outside of America. Appreciate y'all. He did the same thing women can do every day here. They can pop a pill, get rid of a pregnancy. Do women do that every day in America? Absolutely. Let's be for real, y'all. Let's be for real. Are women careless enough to get pregnant on a regular basis and then just pop a pill? Absolutely. They've proven that. So depending upon what he's charged with, maybe there's something I can say he's guilty on. But saying it's murder? No, I can't rock with you there. I ain't rocking with you there. And I know a lot of times people will try to say, well, let's get him on a lesser charge. Okay, let's get him on a lesser charge. Yeah, I ain't rocking with that, man. I ain't rocking with that. I do believe the guy really should stay in trial for something like this. Not, don't just say, I'm guilty and don't worry about no trial. I don't think that's the right way to go. Because you done did what you done did now. You can't take it back now. You done did what you done did. Okay, I don't know what his feelings are toward this woman. I just know he want to have a baby with her. And should a man be forced to have a baby with a woman that he don't want to have a baby with? Well, if a woman isn't forced to have a baby with a man she don't want to have a baby with, my thing is if it's the law, ain't it supposed to be fair? Ain't it supposed to be fair? Okay. So this man found a way to choose. That's what I'm looking at, y'all. The man found a way to choose. Does the man have a right to choose? Now we know 100% for sure women have a right to choose. It's women that got upset because, Donald Trump had this whole thing about, hey, let's get it back to the states so the states can choose. And women got upset about that. Well, I just want to know I can get it even in my state. Well, no, wait, now he put in the hands of states. And they had an issue with that. They had an issue. Plenty of women had an issue with that. And it still didn't stop you from being able to go to the chop shop. You just went. In some woman's case, she may have to go to a different state to go to the chop shop. Now she got to use some gas money to get to the chop shop. Now she got to possibly pay for a hotel room to go to the chop shop. All this type of stuff. And my thing is, people make it out to be a big deal, but realistically speaking, if a woman's going to the chop shop, even if she got to leave the state, realistically, who paying for it anyway? It probably ain't her. It's probably not really costing her a dime. If we want to be realistic. Because if a woman's going to do that, from the man's perspective, is he going to be willing to come up with the fee to get it done? Yeah, he'll come up with it. If she got to drive, 4 hours to get out the state to the next state that'll do it, is he going to give her 4 hours worth of gas money? I'm sure he would. Okay. If she needs to pay for a hotel for a day or two to quote unquote recover, is he going to come up with the bread? I'm sure he will. So I don't think women really pay for these at all. And I've never heard of a woman who actually paid to go to the chop shop. I don't know any woman who paid to go to the chop shop. I know women that been there. I just don't know a woman who paid to go there. So this is basically 100% free for women. When you make it 100% free, let's keep it real, more people will indulge in it. That's just the way it goes. I'm not saying that they have to just because it's free, but I do understand normal human reaction. If it's free, we'll do more of it. So this man getting a murder charge for something that women can freely go do. I mean, my thing is that's putting a little too much sauce on it, man. You can make a nice meal, y'all. You can make a very nice meal, whatever you want. Okay, you can make some spaghetti. Some people can make spaghetti very well. Some of y'all trash when it comes to making spaghetti. I'm gonna keep it real, man. Some of y'all trash. I do very much appreciate the fact that my mama's side and my daddy's side, I got all these great cooks, man. All these great cooks. But once I ate some food that my family didn't prepare, y'all, I've had some bad spaghetti out there. Now, I don't know how you ruin spaghetti. I really don't know how you get spaghetti that just don't taste good. Because I don't know what you putting in it or what you leaving out that you somehow make bad spaghetti. But I had bad spaghetti, y'all. Okay? You can ruin something as simple as spaghetti. You put too much of something in it. Shout out to Trail Benny, he say sugar. And spaghetti, I believe, is a good meal to use an example of because you really should mess up something as simple as spaghetti. I ain't saying you got to be no chef. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable and his cohort. You ain't got to be no chef to make spaghetti. But how bad you got to be at cooking to mess up spaghetti, y'all? Come on. That's my thing, man. I done been to events and folks done had bad spaghetti. How you messing up the spaghetti? How you messing up the spaghetti? So you can put a little too much sauce on something and just ruin it, okay? You can put a little too much sauce on something and ruin it, all right? So when it comes to what they charging this man with, when you say murder, and I'm sitting there, well, what did he do? All right, who he killed? Who he killed? Okay, who he killed? And I understand until it's a verdict, it's just an allegation. But the thing is, okay, allegedly, who he killed? Who he take out? Did he get the neighbor? Huh? Did he kill his woman? What? Did he shoot his mom? What'd he do? He did he get his sister? Huh? Was it some road rage that went too far? Who he killed? Who he killed? Okay. Cause I gotta be real about this. And we got a murder charge, okay? Murder was the case that they gave him. And when I found out who he quote unquote killed, you telling me a baby that wasn't even born yet? What? Okay. Baby that wasn't born. Okay, what's the context of the baby? Did he push her down the stairs? What'd he do? Did he beat her up? Did he pay somebody to beat her up? What'd he do? What'd he do? What? What? He didn't throw her down those stairs? Huh? What? What? Wait a minute. You say he gave her a pill? Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. He gave her a pill, and the pill causes her to have a reaction where the child will be terminated because the pregnancy go in. Is that what you said he did? Wait a minute. Are you saying like he gave her a pill that a woman can just go to a store and buy? Is that what he did? So he went and got a pill that a woman can just buy, and she can just do this herself at any time she want to. Yeah, that's what she did, man. That's what she did. See, now it's like, whoa. So we gonna charge her with murder? Sound like you're putting a little too much sauce on this meal to me. Okay, that's what it sounds like to me. I ain't eating that. All right, I'm gonna just tell you straight up, y'all. I ain't eating that. Because if the man did the exact same thing that is cool for women to do every day, and you gonna tell me when he do it is murder? Man, I ain't eating that. Okay, this is me pushing back your bad plate of spaghetti. I don't know how you mess the spaghetti up. All right. Heck, when I think about it, spaghetti should be I guess should be one of the first foods you should learn how to make, I guess. Because it ain't all that difficult. It ain't all that difficult. But you done mess with spaghetti. See, when you tell me we going with a murder charge, I think you just messed up spaghetti. I'm gonna have to push that away from me. You know? And I get it. People have a natural reaction. You a guest, and some folks that offered you some spaghetti. You a guest, and then they offered you the spaghetti. All right, but you smell that spaghetti, or you look at that spaghetti, and you push that plate away from you, which is gonna be an insult to these people who then invited you over to let you sit amongst family and friends and do you. And a main dish is great grandma's world-class spaghetti, as they say. That's their main dish. Great grandma's world-class spaghetti. You got to eat this, brother. You wait till you try this. This spaghetti is off the hook. See, this just ain't any spaghetti. I know you done had some spaghetti before, but this ain't just any spaghetti. This is great grandma Claudine's world-class spaghetti, man. You ain't had no spaghetti until you had great grandma Claudine's world-class spaghetti. Okay? This is award-winning spaghetti. All right? This spaghetti recipe won several contests right about the time between 1920 and 1935, a 15-year run of great grandma Claudine's world-class spaghetti. And we allowing you to try this recipe. You know, we don't just give this recipe out. We don't just give this out. You know, you got to be fam to even get a taste of this. Okay. They don't have those contests anymore. That's why she only went from 1920 to 1935. They had to stop the contest because Claudine, okay, great grandma Claudine's spaghetti recipe was taking people out every year. She won so much, we had to stop the contest, y'all. We had to stop the contest. So they done hyped y'all up about the situation. Okay. You came over extra hungry. Extra hungry. Okay. You was gonna eat lunch, but you said, nah, I ain't gonna even eat lunch today. I'm gonna make sure I got plenty room because tonight gonna be the night that I get me a huge helping of great grandma Claudine's world-class spaghetti. So I'm gonna have some extra room today. I'm gonna have some extra room. And you get over there and that they give you that nice big plate of great grandma Claudine's world-class spaghetti. And all of a sudden you smell trash. You done sat down ready to go. And now you smell trash. And you looking at everybody else diving right in with this weird look on your face. Cause you sitting there, how come they ain't take the trash out today? Ain't it a little smelly in here to be eating spaghetti? Ain't a little smelly in here to be eating spaghetti? Well, you know what? When you serve these charges up to me on the platter, okay, you serve these charges up to me on the platter, this don't smell right to me. I'm telling y'all straight up, this don't smell right to me. Okay? Now, I don't care who great grandma Claudine was. I don't care if this recipe ruled from 1920 to 1935. I don't care if this recipe go way back to slavery. Heck, I would understand it more if it went way back to slavery. When you couldn't really get nothing, this is what you had to do. I would understand that. But we ain't got to eat like slaves no more, y'all. We ain't got to eat like slaves, okay? No disrespect to great grandma Claudia. I don't care if she your grandma from 5 generations ago. I don't care if she from 7 generations ago. I don't care if she from 9 generations ago. I am not finna sit down here with y'all and act like I'm a friend of the family. And y'all serving me trash spaghetti. And I'm so poor of a friend, I ain't gonna tell you that it's trash. This trash, okay? It's trash. Get this trash away from me, man. I don't mean no disrespect, but this trash, okay? This trash. Well, maybe your taste buds a little different. Maybe you just need to put a little something on. Don't tell ain't no putting no little cheese on this gonna fix it. Ain't gonna fix it. Just put some oregano on. Ain't enough oregano in the world. It's trash, okay? It ain't enough oregano in the world. Just trash, okay? I ain't eating this trash. Well, guys, when it comes to murder charges, I think this trash. Real talk. I don't care what you think about abortion. I think this trash. We're gonna give a murder case to a man who I can agree did not go about it the right way. I can agree to that. You know? But the only thing he did was the same thing women do whenever they want to do it. And it's fine when they do it. So if it's fine for them to do it, why it ain't fine for him to do it? Now, I understand we got this thing about you can do pretty much what you want as long as you don't hurt nobody else or damage anybody else's property. Well, in this specific situation, he's having an abortion of his own child. Now, if he slipped some random woman a Mickey, and there was a couple that was excited that they finally had a pregnancy going on, whether they've been trying to get pregnant for years, whether they wasn't even think about getting pregnant, just came up pregnant. If they excited about having their baby and he slips this to some other couple, well, see, now I can see that as a murder. Because he did something that's 100% against the parents' will. Okay, I can see an argument for that to be murder. I definitely can see that one. I can see that. Now you're giving me something that I can kind of make some sense out of. But he only did this to his own child. If we're going to accept that he was the father of the child, because we don't technically know. But if we're going to accept that he's the father of the child, then that's his child. What you want me to do about what he did with his own child? I understand you might want to keep your child. I understand maybe you've been trying to get pregnant for 12 years and you finally got pregnant when it comes to your child. You may be the man who involved with the woman who been trying to get pregnant for 12 years and she finally got pregnant. Yeah, that's your child. If somebody did this to your child as the couple who wanted to have a baby, I'm with you. I can't be cool with some dude slipping y'all a Mickey. Well, you're really slipping her a Mickey, and then y'all baby get lost. Now, I can't be cool with some man doing that, but that man slipped the Mickey to the mother of supposedly his child. Now, I'm pretty sure there's something he can be charged with from a legal standpoint to make some kind of impact or whatever the case is. And I wouldn't say that that was bad. I think that's perfectly reasonable that he can be charged with something about slipping her a Mickey. But convict him for murder? Well, if that's the only thing y'all got, y'all about to lose this one if I'm on the jury. Because I can't agree that he should get murder because he did the same thing women do. Y'all see how this comes in? See, I'm not arguing from a moral standpoint, which is very easy to do. You know, people have been arguing about the morality of abortions for a long time. But the men simply do something women do daily. I'm not saying he wasn't wrong to slip her a Mickey. I ain't gonna argue that part. If there's a charge that he can get for slipping her a Mickey, yeah, I can see convicting him on that. If it's proven that that's what he did, you know, and they say in this particular case it was admitted to, but you know, they just should be avatars for us as a people. Okay, well, if we can, you know, find proof that a man slipped some woman a Mickey, I can totally get those charges and I can convict on something like that. But you ain't finna throw murder at this dude for doing the same thing women do. But it's murder when he do it, but it ain't murder when they do it. See, that's going a little too far. Okay? That's going a little too far. You can't justify that to me. You can't. I'm not saying that abortion ain't murder. Because I know a lot of your moral folks gonna come, but it's just murder. If it's murder when he do it, it's got to be murder when she do it. Ain't we supposed to have equal protection under the law? And I know some folks done did some tricky things even with that, but equal protection under the law. So if she's protected from murder charges when she do it, how come he ain't protected from murder charges when he do it? Not saying he should have did it, but he just did what women do. If she's protected under the law, he should be protected under the law. Yeah, I can't rock with you on this one. Okay? Can't rock with you on that. Now, shout out to Family Business. He says it's not about, quote unquote, him doing it. It's about what's defined under the law as an abortion. This is the thing. If it's okay for the woman to take the pill to stop the pregnancy, if that's considered legal, then what you just said has no point in a conviction toward him for murder. Because if he only did what women do, and if that's quote unquote considered an abortion, he had an abortion. You see what I'm saying? He did exactly what the women can do. So how's it murder when he do it, but it's only abortion when she do it? Bro, equal protection under the law. I get you trying to make a point, but even with what you saying, bro, you're not making no point. If it's abortion when she do it, then it's got to be abortion when he do it. That's why I'm saying the murder charge is ridiculous. Now, if you can come up with a legitimate charge for slipping him, but him slipping her and Mickey, cool. We can get him on that. We can get it. We want to get him on something, we can get him on that. But it can't be murder when he do it, but it's not murder when she do it. That's not equal protection under the law. I get, and family, I ain't coming at you. I believe you was trying to make a legitimate point, but the point you making or attempting to make, I don't believe makes sense, because at the end of the day, she can do it. Now he says when she do it, it's prescribed from a doctor. Well, how do I know that, brother? It's pills out here that you don't need no doctor prescription for. So I don't know that. So I can't even rock with you there, brother. I can't rock with you there. How do I even know that she needs a prescription for this, man? Like, where did that even come from? I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but where did that even come from? I ain't never heard of a woman needing a prescription to take a pill to end the pregnancy. I ain't never even heard of that one. And I'm just keeping it real. Okay, I ain't never even heard of that one. Ain't no woman ever told me she needed no prescription. So where that even come from? All right. You know, I ain't saying you wrong. Maybe it's out there, but I ain't never heard of that. She need a prescription, bro. Where that come from? That's all I can say. now, Fanny, you said, but what's the story? That's my point. What is the story? Because all he did was slip her Mickey to create an abortion. Now, you may not know Family Business, because I know you're a newer name that I have noticed. A lot of times when we do shows, I'll put a link in the description so people can get an idea of what story we cover. So I'm using a particular story that was covered by my main man, Kev, over at Black Man Being Brutally Honest, which all y'all should subscribe to. If you're not subscribed to Black Man Being Brutally Honest, you're playing, okay? You're playing, okay? The original Habitual line stuff, but that's that's him, y'all. That's him. He's the original, okay? I just jumped on. he the original, okay? So if you ain't subscribed to Black Man Being Brutally Honest, stop playing around and go on over there and subscribe, okay? But he covered a story about a man who got a woman pregnant. He slipped her a Mickey. She ain't pregnant no more. But they want to go with a murder charge. Okay? Family Business says, my bad, I'm not experienced in abortions, buddy. Family Business, are you a female? Because what man is experienced in abortions? Are you a female? Because see, even I'm gonna hope you was cracking a joke. I'm gonna hope you was cracking a joke. That's what I'm gonna hope. Because if you honestly believe there men are out here experiencing abortions, all I can do is chuckle right now, because ain't no man ever had an abortion. That's not something men do. Believe it or not. Nah, don't get upset. Y'all, he said in the chat, here we go with, are you a female? No, bro, I'm asking you, are you a female? Because you said you're not experiencing abortion. What man is? Women can have abortions. Men don't have them. I'm not even trying to say that to you as like an ad hominem. I'm saying Family Business technically could have went either way, to male or female. What dude had an abortion? That's what I'm saying, bro. I ain't even trying to insult you. I'm saying, what man? Do you know a guy who had an abortion? Because you said experience. Like a person could have 2, 3, or 4 of them. I mean, What man had an abortion? That's what I'm saying. Keep up with me now. Ain't nobody insulting you. I'm asking what man had an abortion. So now, if she can do it, then how can we be cool, but also say he can't do it? That's why I believe if you can come up with a proper charge for him slipping this woman a Mickey, I can rock with you there. He gave her something that she didn't consent to. I can rock with you there. You know, because you do have a right to basically do what you want until you start damaging other people or their property. You know, you gave the person something, and I'm pretty sure there's something on the books that you can charge a person with who fed somebody something they did not agree to eat. That's something that's been going on for centuries, at least, if not millennia. People have been given poison. Okay. People have been given all kinds of stuff just to mess with them. You know, I ain't gonna even go through some of the stuff I done heard about and found about that has happened over time, especially women feeding their husband all sorts of things. Not to kill him, but to cause great pain and problems for him. So I know it's got to be something on the books that you can use to say, hey, he fed her something that she didn't agree to eat. And I'm pretty sure you can get a legitimate charge. Now, I don't know what that law would be or how much time it would carry. But something like that, I can be like, okay, well, he did. I mean, he gave it to her behind her back. She didn't know she was taking it. See, I can rock with you on something like that. That's reasonable. Okay, that's reasonable. Okay. That's very reasonable. Okay. What's not reasonable is a murder charge. I think you're out of line. Okay. It's just out of line. And see, this is why I'm saying black men, y'all got to get on these juries, man. Y'all got to get on these juries. Because even if this wasn't a black man, what if this was a white couple? You got the same scenario, but you got a white couple. This is your opportunity to affect real change. Okay? This is your ability to affect some real change. All it takes is for one juror to have a problem with something that can create national consequences. I'm going to say that again, y'all. All you need is for one juror to take a position that can create national consequences. National consequences. Now, Fanny Business, you did say, you know what I mean. I took you for smarter than that. Well, I mean, look what you said, though. You got to look at what you said. Before you're going to come at me like, I know what you're talking about. Look at what you said. What don't you get, bro? What's the difference between the woman taking the pill and the man giving her the pill to take? If the pill is a legal pill, what's the issue? Here you go talking about what if she had a prescription? Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I ain't never heard of a woman needing a prescription for no pill to get rid of no child. I ain't never heard of such a thing. And I said that straight up. I ain't never even heard of such a thing. So it's like right now you're throwing out something to kind of change what stuff is. You know, and my thing is, what's the point in doing that? Okay. Have you ever heard of a woman needing a prescription to stop a pregnancy? Have you heard of it? Because now if you done heard of it, that's a different thing. What the heck is that? If you can tell us what that is, you know, now you can bring a different part of the conversation. I don't necessarily believe you've heard of something like that because I ain't never heard of something like that. But technically, you could have heard of something I ain't heard of. So if it exists, I mean, throw it out there. If it exists, throw it out there. Now, Family Ben, you say, I maybe just didn't know. Well, bro, how am I supposed to know that you don't know if you listen to the program? I don't know when you got here, bro. I don't know when you got here. And I'm telling you, if you don't know what the story is, just click the link in the descriptions if you want to hear the story that I linked up to this. Because these people could be anybody. Okay, this could be some white folks. This could be some Hispanic folks. This could be an interracial situation where you got a white woman and a black man, or you could possibly have a white man and a black woman. It doesn't really make a difference. My thing is, as black men, okay, as black men, we need to take opportunities to make sure we own these juries so we can make impact on what's going on. Okay. Okay. We need to make some impact, y'all. And the thing is, this man gonna have to deal with something in real life. It's a real murder charge that he gonna have to deal with in real life. Should we be cool with a black man being subjected to a murder charge for doing the exact same thing? The exact same thing that women get to do. See, I can understand it being a murder charge if he wasn't a supposed father. Okay, if he wasn't a supposed father, yeah, that's something totally different. But we talking about what he did with his child. 50% of the DNA come from the mom. 50% of the DNA come from the dad. The mom don't have to get the dad's signature to get rid of the child. So why would the dad need the mom's signature to get rid of the child? See, and family business. Look, bro. Don't take this personal, man. We joke sometime over here, man. We joke sometime over here. Don't take it personal. This ain't like I was trying to insult you. Don't be mad, brother. Don't be. I'm not saying you mad. I'm not saying you being the most. I'm just saying, don't, bro. We just talking, man. We just talking. But and I get you may not have understood, but sometimes you gotta hold your statements till you do understand. So it ain't like you did nothing wrong. It ain't like you did nothing wrong. But we ain't gonna go down no sensitive lane neither. Okay, we ain't gonna go down no sensitive lane because this is a very important subject matter. We not gonna make it about you because this is important subject matter. At the end of the day, okay. At the end of the day, shout out to I'm listening, y'all. He pulling rank. He say, "Stay on my chat, Roger." I'm listening, pulling rank. He done took the chat for the day. You know what? I'm listening. You know what? It's yours for the day, brother. It's yours for the day. I'm out the chat until I get I'm listening's permission to look into the chat, y'all. See, now y'all might say something. Now I need I'm listening permission for the rest of the day. So I can look into the chat, y'all. He done took over for the day. All right. I love y'all. I rock with y'all. Y'all my people. So I ain't gonna try to embarrass the man or nothing like that. I wasn't trying to embarrass family business. We crack a joke here and there, man. I ain't trying to come at you. And I ain't trying to come at I'm listening. Thank you, brother. Like, he say, laugh out loud. You good, Roger. You good. Oh, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Because it's a Friday, y'all. It's a Friday. I don't want to go at the end of the week where I have no control over the chat. That's a bad way to end the week to have nothing when it comes to the chat, man. Bad way to end the week. But again, y'all, this is serious subject matter. Now, I do crack a joke here or there. I do crack a joke here or there. Okay. All right. But I think you got to make stuff fun. I do think you got to make stuff fun, even if it's something serious. You got to make stuff fun, and that's all I'm trying to do, y'all. That's all I'm trying to do. So my thing is, we got to have some decisions made about what things should be and how things should go. Now, I want to say, shout out to my main man, Floyd Thompson. He says, Roger, the baby probably wasn't his. and he put down $2.57. So shout out to Floyd Thompson for the Trail Bentley 57-cent tax. Appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that, my brother. And I must say, Floyd Thompson, I agree with you. There's a high probability. Nowadays, it's a high probability that wasn't his baby. But I have to say this. If we're going to presume he was the baby's father, well, half the DNA hers, but half the DNA his. And if she's lying about whose baby it was, that's on her at the end of the day. All he knows is what he told. Okay. So if that man is being told that that baby is his, and he act like that baby is his, should this really be a problem? Now, again, I will grant you all day long that if there's a law on the books about slipping somebody a Mickey, that law I can definitely understand being applied. And I can definitely understand, if proven, why he would get a conviction for that. But when you make it a murder charge, bro, you just put way too much sauce on this. Okay? I like spaghetti, but you put way too much sauce on this spaghetti. I can't eat this. I got to push the plate away. I got to push the plate away. All right? Now, shout out to Truth Teller. He say, where the ladies at? Well, I'll say this. If there are any women listening in the clouds and you want to, click the link to give your opinions about this or give some angles that we as men haven't thought about, you are welcome to do so. You are welcome to do so. You see that, Truth Teller? I'm inviting the ladies in, okay? Not that anybody needs an invitation to join the panel. Y'all, the link be out there for whoever want to say what they got to say, okay? At least over here, even if I don't agree with your opinion, I do believe you got a right to give your opinion, and who knows? You could change my mind on something. Possibly. Okay, you could change my mind on something. Possibly. Okay. Shout out to 7-9. Excuse me, shout out to 7-9. Cali Alcante. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Good to see you every time. Good to see you every time. Okay. Truth Teller says, I want their point of view on this one. You know what? It's definitely welcome. It's definitely welcome. Yeah, because I'm not going to sit here and act like the man didn't do, quote unquote, nothing wrong. Yeah, he slipped on Mickey. But give him some charges about slipping her Mickey. Why are we putting murder on the dude? Okay? Why are we going to put murder? It was his baby. And see, this is the thing. The man doesn't have to sign off for a woman to get rid of his child. He ain't got to sign off on it. And then people may say, well, technically, we don't really know if it's his child until the baby's born. Yeah, you can go with that. You can go with that. But if the presumed father or the assumed father, however you want to look at it, if he don't have to sign off on his baby going to the chop shop, now I got to honestly say, does he need her permission for his baby to go to the chop shop? I understand her body, her choice. I get that. I get that. I'm not saying what the man did wasn't a bad thing. Okay, we can argue that it was a terrible thing, but he's still supposed to get equal protection under the law. See, when you try to complicate stuff or make the rules far more complex than they need to be, well, I got to look at what we're doing as a society. I got to keep it just as simple or just as complex as you do. So now, at the end of the day, this should be an easily beatable murder case. Now, if I'm the attorney, I don't even. Well, I'm looking at it like this: if you're an attorney and you got to fight this particular case as a murder case, I like it being a murder case because I believe we can win. I believe we could win due to the fact that he was overcharged. That's what I'm thinking. You give him the murder case, you fight the murder case, you win the murder case, meaning the defense is going to win the murder case. He's going to actually prove that this is not murder. And I do believe you can prove that this is not murder because it supposedly was his baby. She said it's your baby. Okay? He don't know she pregnant unless she tell him, right? She told him, this your baby. So he acted like this his baby. Now how am I supposed to trip about some man acting like the baby is his? See, people want to talk a lot of crap and say that a man gonna act like the baby ain't his. Well, he acted like the baby is his. Okay? Now, just because he acted like the baby was his, and it was a way that you may not necessarily like or agree with, I'm supposed to hit dude with a murder charge? Now, we got to have been smart enough to put something on the books about slipping people Mickeys by this point as a society. And if we have not been, then maybe it's time to put something on the books about slipping somebody a Mickey. But I can't rock with a murder charge for him doing the same thing women do. Because it was his baby. If it was somebody else's baby, I can see it. I can see it as a fair move if he killed another couple's baby. I can see it as fair as it being a murder charge. I can understand that at least. Okay. But as my habitual line stepper brother said, if it's murder, it should just be murder across the board. Now, if it ain't murder, it shouldn't be murder across the board. Okay? All right? If it's murder, it's murder. If it's not, it's not. If it's murder when convenient, then it ain't murder. Y'all see how that works? If it's murder when it's convenient, then it ain't murder. If it's murder, it's just murder. All right? When do you conveniently murder somebody? Okay, when do you conveniently murder somebody? Well, we can't murder him today. It's Saturday. You know, yeah, we cool with murder, but we gonna wait for you got to get your murders in during the week. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to murder somebody, on the weekend. The weekend, we all supposed to be able to go out and have fun. We all supposed to be able to go out and catch up with what we couldn't catch up with during the week because we was quote unquote working and living our lives and things like that. So we gonna make it where you can murder somebody. We gonna have that still be illegal, but we ain't gonna let you murder on the weekend. Like, okay, we gonna prosecute this person for murder. If convicted, this comes with a sentence of 90 years. And we're going to do a process of this person to murder. But if convicted, it's 125 years because it happened on the weekend. Like, is that what we do? What we talking about, man? What we talking about? All right? Because this don't make no sense. I'm totally cool if we can hit them with a law about slipping that lady a Mickey. I can totally rock with you there. I can rock with, because it is quote unquote her body, her choice. But come on, man, if all he did was cause an abortion, the same way women are allowed to cause an abortion, I can't hit dude with no murder charge for that. I think dude should have probably thought this out a little bit more. But I would say this: he may have thought it out. He may have thought it out enough. Because I think if he got the right lawyer, this is a very beatable case. You know what else? I do believe if you get a man on the jury who's not a coward, This should be easy. You just need one man on that jury who's not a coward. If you put what I'm saying as part of your case, if a lawyer puts this in there some kind of way, I just don't see how a jury can disagree with my position. I don't see how you can. Now, of course, I know people will disagree about stuff no matter what. I get that. But I'm saying, real talk, was it murder, y'all? Okay. And I'm asking y'all as the audience, what y'all say? Was it murder? Do you think this is murder? I'm not asking did he do anything wrong, because I do believe he did something wrong. But is this murder? Because you know what? This ain't the court of law, but this is the court of public opinion. All right. And every once in a while, we got to do some things in a court of public opinion. So y'all think about this. Is this actually a murder? I'm not saying he should have went about it the way he went about it. I'm not saying how he, how he completed his objective was the right way to go. The man just wanted an abortion. The man got the child aborted. Why would I want him to go to prison for murder? It was his child. It wasn't somebody else's child. Now, if it was somebody else's child, granted, I could rock with a murder. Because you deliberately killed somebody else's child that ain't got nothing to do with you. That baby was supposedly his and supposedly got half his DNA. And women take half their DNA, half their DNA, and they go to these chop shops and handle their business. The other person with half the DNA is not considered. Now I do have to look at that and say, hey, if one half of the person with the DNA can get rid of the child without considering them at all, how do I now sit on the other side of the fence, being a fair-minded person, and say, well, this particular person who carries half the DNA can't make a unilateral decision just like the other person with half of the DNA can make a unilateral decision? How do I make that work? I don't know if I can. Okay, that's just real talk. I do understand it's her body and her choice. I do believe you got to get them on the right charge. If you can charge them correctly for slipping her to Mickey, I can rock with you all day long. But murder, no, that's his kid. If she can end that child's life legally, why can't he? For me, because there's equal protection under the law. The law is protecting her from murder. So the law should have that same protection for him for murder. Not saying it's cool, not saying it's right. I'm talking about what's legal right now. But we have a guest joining the panel. Okay. The film him in this. Okay. The film him in this. That's hilarious. You have the floor, my brother. The film him in this. Go ahead, my brother.
Hello, Roger. Hello, audience. Hello, the playback game. I'm here to make sure that y'all understand I'm a feminist. I believe in equality. And this is atrocity happening in the legal system. He's being charged for murder, but ain't no life been taken. I just don't understand how is this even possible. I think they just trying to throw something else out, like they tried to throw out at other black men. I think they just trying to get another brother because he can't have taken a life, right? I mean, according to the people on my side of the fence, that's not a life. They haven't been born yet, so he can't be charged for murder for somebody who ain't alive. I'm confused in this. It's throwing my feminist understanding to the wall, to the window and to the wall, because I don't understand how they're gonna charge him for killing somebody that ain't alive. Yeah, they need to free that man. Free Willie, free him.
Well, you know what? I say it does need to go to trial, so precedent can be set, and he needs to be acquitted for murder. Now, if you can get him for other stuff, all right, that can be debatable or whatever. But for murder, to me, this is ridiculous. Okay, and let me say, shout out to Family Business. He said it's only what's written in the laws. Family Business. That's what I'm talking about. What's written in the law? She can take a pill. She does not need approval of the person who has the other half of the DNA. That's the law. She can take the pill. She can end the pregnancy. He did the same thing. He got her to take the pill and end the pregnancy. That's the law.
Well, actually, it's even worse than that, Roger. Technically, according to the law, that thing inside of her is not a living being until after 21 weeks, I think, something like that, 21, 22 weeks. She was 7 weeks. So that's not a person. You can't charge him for murder of nobody. This is in the TV shows, the Law and Order TV shows, you say, hey, we don't have a body. How are we going to charge him with murder?
I mean, that's real talk. And see, my thing is we want to play these fast and loose games about what is and what isn't. My thing is, man, you gotta pick a side, bro. I personally refuse to live in a society where you can't even tell me what the law is. Is the law that we can end a pregnancy through this avenue, or is the law that we can't? Because if the law say we can end the life, if you're gonna say it's a life, if the law say we can end the life through this avenue, and the man does the exact avenue that the law said we can end the life in, then what we tripping for? That's my thing. That's why I can say wholeheartedly, if you can get him for slipping to Mickey, cool, you got something to talk about. But if we gonna say murder because he ended the life of a person who is, we legally have it where you can do it, why? How come when he do it, all of a sudden it ain't the law no more? Because you got this stuff written up in all kinds of ways where it's fine for her to do it. He just did what she would do. That's the law. And if it ain't a life, then it ain't a life. And if it ain't a life, why are we talking about murder? So that's why I say I think any good lawyer should be able to beat this case. But if you take this to trial and the lawyer beats the case, now see, my thing, a lot of stuff can happen at that point. A lot of stuff can happen in our society at that point. We might actually have to change some viewpoints if this was actually fought out in a trial and he gets acquitted, at least for the murder part. I don't know if those who run society want that to happen, but to me it seemed like a necessary thing. Now I don't wish for no stories like this to come up, but since it did, and something like this will probably happen again, I think this needs to go to trial, and I think somebody needs to jump on this and just go and beat the case. Because the law say, shout out to Family Business, say, it's about what the law say. The law say if you take these pills, it's cool to end the pregnancy. That's what the law say. All he did was get her to take the pill to end the pregnancy. So therefore, he didn't do anything illegal in that regard. Because that's what the law say, right? Yeah. I'm not saying we ain't got some bad laws. We done had bad laws before. Back in the day, the law said a black person could be a slave, right? You ain't see people getting prosecuted over slavery. Because the law said it was cool, right? When the law said they couldn't be slaves no more, you didn't see nobody get prosecuted. They had to free the slaves, but nobody got prosecuted. Do you remember anybody getting prosecuted because they had a slave? And they think is what you talking about. Matter of fact, did we not prosecute the people who owned slaves? We gave money for restitution because they lost their slaves. So, people say, and Fanny, this is not me picking on you. I'm saying you bring up some points that need to be addressed. The law say you can have a pregnancy come to an end through this avenue of taking the pill. So if the law says she can do it, that means the law does not say he can't do it. You would actually have to write a new law. So again, you legally, if they got something on the books that says a man cannot slip a woman a Mickey, then that's what you should be pursuing from a legal standpoint. But to pursue murder for what she's allowed to do, well, because of equal protection under the law, if she's protected from murder under that circumstance, then I'm protected from murder under that same circumstance. And see, this is one of the reasons I do shows like this. Black men got to learn y'all are somebody. If she can do it under the law, that means I can do it under the law. Why don't we take that as real? Why don't we take that as the truth? She did it under the law, which means I can do it under the law because I get equal protection under the law. It's only a crime if it's illegal for both of us to do it.
Now I'm gonna get real devious, Roger. I'm gonna get real devious. Now this could be a defense in the case, but the attorney happens to be listening. Besides the fact that the window of designating this as a person who can be murdered has not been met, besides that, also the fact, has he ever given her anything to eat? And if he has, and she's willingly taken it without questioning him on what it is it a problem that he decided to give this to her this time?
I get where you're going.
Because I mean, if he's giving her stuff and she trusted him because that's her man, and I'm gonna just eat it. My man gave it to me. What would be wrong with it? He wouldn't try to hurt me, and giving her these pills wouldn't hurt her either, right? Or he doesn't have the intent to hurt her. What's the difference between me giving her some quail eggs for breakfast one morning versus regular eggs versus giving her these pills?
I mean, I totally get what you're saying. And the way I look at it is, I don't know if there's a law on the book about actually sipping somebody a Mickey. Maybe we as a society need to look at that. I don't know if that's an actual law on the book, because I know people have slipped people some Mickeys in a multitude of different ways, even to the point where somebody got killed. But usually they don't fight nothing about slipping the person the pill. They fight a murder case. So do we actually have any laws on the books that say you cannot slip somebody a Mickey? As bad as that is, and I do not believe anybody should really do anything like that, if it ain't on the books, it ain't on the books. Now, we as a society could correct that, but for him, if it's not on the books yet, then I don't see what the problem is.
The other thing is, was the medication or was the drugs that were given to her require prescription? I don't know if he said that. He might have said that in the shout out to Kev, by the way. He might have said that in the video. But if it's an over-the-counter drug, which I don't know if that kind of medication is, but if it's an over-the-counter drug, they might have a problem with, even charging them with slipping a Mickey if it's over the counter. And it's not a drug that takes out her consciousness. It doesn't knock her out. Doesn't make her high. They might not even charge her with that.
Now I'm
That's
gonna
the
say
problem.
shout out to Bobby Price. He said, yes, you do. He said it's on the books. There are laws you can't spit in someone's food. Now I do believe that. Because you know how spitting is. So and there are laws about spitting. There's multiple laws about spitting. So I could definitely believe that there's a law about not spitting in someone's food. But we don't know that he's spitting her food.
But I believe those laws about that's what I'm saying. Those laws about spitting in food is about transmitting bodily fluids into food. That's not this. So then you'd have to go to the laws about giving basically unwanted drugs to somebody, and if it's over the counter, not illegal. Besides the fact that she didn't know what it was, what else could the crime be? And if she didn't know what it was, but she took pills that she didn't know what it was, but she just took it because she trusted him. Is that really him, or is that her not verifying what these things are that you're giving me? Now, I don't know how he gave it to her, so that's a different story. He just crumbled it up and put it in her food, and hey, they got him on the same thing or similar thing than spitting in her food. So it is what it is.
Well, I'm just gonna assume because we don't know how he gave it to her. But y'all know how it go. Women like a man that'll cook for him, right? Maybe he cooked that night.
It's true because they don't want to cook. So
I don't know. I ain't saying that's what happened, but okay. I mean, maybe he cooked that night, or maybe she cooked and he just somehow had an opportunity when she might have went to answer the phone. That man threw a little extra something up in there. You know what I'm saying? It could have happened a multitude of different ways. But at the end of the day, it's about what's on the books and what's not on the books. Because he didn't spit in her food. I mean, shout out to Bobby Price. That was actually a good thing to put out there. But he didn't spit in her food that we know of. We just know he gave us something that she didn't necessarily want because she said she wanted to keep the child. So he fooled her some kind of way. We know he fooled her.
Yeah, he fooled her.
Is there an actual law on the books about fooling people when you serve them? Because at the end of the day, now my thing is a law on the books probably needs to exist because people go to restaurants all the time. There are restaurants that don't even close. Now, if a person at a restaurant starts putting stuff in people's food, now we all gonna be appalled by that and we're not gonna be for that. But if it happens, can you convict the person if he doesn't cause some type of harm to people?
So if you think about it, let's say you go to a restaurant and they do put something in your food. Let's say it's something simple as Tylenol or ibuprofen, right? Now, if you have an allergic reaction and you suffer a health issue, you could sue based on your suffering of that health issue due to them putting in that stuff that you didn't know about. But let's say you didn't have a health issue or a health response to them doing that. You can't really sue them because you didn't suffer anything. Besides the fact that they fed you something you didn't approve them to feed you. And I'm sure there's some kind of law around that. But if you didn't suffer any health costs or anything like that, you really can't sue. And if the stuff that they put in your food wasn't illegal or detrimental to you, other than having your approval to be in it, the only thing you could do really is complain. Why did you put Tylenol or ibuprofen in my food? Right? So that goes back to, all right, is it an actual little person in her body or is it not? And it seems to me like they want to say it is, so we can get these niggas to not do nothing to them.
Right. But
then when women want to do something to them, then suddenly it's not a person anymore.
Yeah, and my thing is, it's a person only when it's convenient. That's what it seemed like. Now, shout out to Bobby Price. He said, doesn't matter. The point is he killed his responsibility. That is wrong at the end of the day. Ain't that what women do when they go to the chop shop?
Yeah,
you
Bobby,
can have a moral attitude that is wrong, which I'm not saying you would even be wrong in that. But we got to talk about what the law is, bro. The law don't say that's wrong. The law say it's cool. There's been plenty of things that shouldn't be legal that have been legal, such as slavery. Okay, remember, it's legal as long as you're convicted of a crime right now. Okay, it was legal across the board back in the day. Not saying that was ever a good thing, but it was legal so people could do it freely. So now the black man doing something, what illegality did he do? What's the illegal thing he did? Because they charging him with murder, and the only thing he did is the same thing women do, which is perfectly fine to do, perfectly legal to do. So what's the problem there? Okay, let me do this real quick before you say something else. I'm gonna let you say what you're gonna say, then we're gonna bring Santana in. But Bobby Price said a couple other things. Let's see what he's saying. He said that you two are even thinking that there isn't a law or that can be argued that you're wrong. I guess he's saying we don't think there may be a law in place that we can argue. I guess that's what he's trying to say in that one.
Yeah,
He's
neither of us have actually said that. We're saying that there probably is another law, just not the one they're charging them for, is what we're saying.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this, because he done put a few things in here now. The harm she claims she wanted the baby, you're going down or you're fighting murder. But who cares if she wanted the baby, bro? It was only half her DNA. The same way when the man wants his baby and she go to the chop shop anyway, it's only half his DNA. So who cares if she wanted it? Why should that even be considered? Because
Listen,
to
man.
my understanding, children are aborted on a regular basis, and most of them do. Matter of fact, none of them actually have to take in consideration of the person with the other half of the DNA thinks about it. So what's the difference now? So
not
what?
only that,
She wanted it.
Not only that, if you want to, if you pushing feminist rights say it should be equal. So you should actually be against them charging him. If you're a feminist, you should be against them charging this man for these crimes because he doesn't have equal rights to the ladies. So I mean, you can't jump back and forth between feminism and not feminism because your first statement was in regards to him obfuscating responsibility. Well, truth be told, everybody has their right to not take responsibility for certain things, especially things that they have no control over. If he decides to take responsibility, but then reneges, that's a different story. But if he never chose to take responsibility for something he has no control over, you can't hold him accountable for it. That's insane.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, Bobby Price, you can hit the link to make your argument. Because at the end of the day,
some good arguments though. I'm not saying Bobby's off. I think he's making some good points. So if he come up, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'm not discounting you. I know you may feel like I'm not discounting you, brother. Everybody's allowed to say what they're gonna say, but the truth is he deserves equal protection under the law. So if a woman's protected from murder as long as the baby is still in the womb, then he should be automatically protected from murder as long as the baby's still in the womb. You see what I'm saying? If there's a threshold to say it has to be this amount of time in the womb that she's protected, then that man has to get the same threshold. It's equal protection under the law. So my thing is, why argue that he shouldn't be protected under the law? Now, it's a different thing to say, hey, let's change the law so we don't like it. But why would we argue that he shouldn't get the same protection she get? Because I don't understand your position outside of the fact that it seemed to me that you got a problem with this because a woman didn't make the choice. It seems like your issue is the man made the choice because the same choice gets made. Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me because I don't want to put that on you if that's not the position you're taking. But to me, that's all I can figure out. from the position you taking, which is an obvious position that people gonna take. But at the end of the day, when you live in America and you are a citizen of America, you get equal protection under the law. So if I can kill somebody in this scenario, you can kill somebody in that scenario. We can debate all day how the scenario is good or bad, but equal protection is equal protection. But Santana, you got the flow. How you doing, brother?
Good. How y'all doing? Good morning to y'all. It's a touchy subject. I remember I was younger, and a girl I was dealing with, she wound up having an abortion.
You know what? Hold on, let me interrupt you 1 second. Bobby Price, I'm gonna say this to you because now you're coming off like a child. Okay? And I really don't interrupt anybody's opening statement, but bro, you can't be a child here. You're gonna have to act like an adult. You said, why do you want to kill? We didn't kill nobody. Ain't nobody up here killed anybody. Some dude gave his woman a pill, and we were discussing that. If you are taking this personal, like somebody killed your baby, this ain't the place for you. This is the place for intelligent adults to be able to have a conversation. If you got to take everything personal, this place is too mature for you. Now, I welcome you to be here, but don't act like a child while you're here. Point blank, period. Okay. And what I'm advocating for, since you seem like you don't understand, now you just said what I'm advocating for in the chat. So now you caused me to clarify my position to you. This is your fault. What I'm advocating for, which I thought any intelligent person could figure out, is I'm advocating for equal protection under the law. See, you worry about which law I picked. I'm advocating for equal protection under the law. I think anybody, and you don't have to be the brightest, you ain't got to be the sharpest knife in the drawer to figure that out, because I'm making it pretty clear. I'm advocating for equal protection under the law. Now, if you're going to come in here and act like you can't figure out basic stuff like this, especially the way I'm presenting, because I try to make sure I present stuff that a fourth grader can get. Okay? I don't know the words that some people know who join my panel. Black Guru, great, but he be saying stuff. I be having to look stuff up and all kinds of. I ain't got the most extensive vocabulary out there. I literally have asked people on the show, okay, what this word mean, what that word mean, because I'm still learning stuff too. Bro, I present stuff at the level of a fourth grader deliberately so people can understand. So if you don't understand, I'm advocating for equal protection under the law. I'm going to say what I say 1,000 times. Stupidity is a choice. So I'm thinking you're choosing to be stupid at this point. And if you got that much to say in the chat, bro, why don't you just come on the panel? Real talk. Advocate your position from the panel. All right, my bad, Santana. Usually I never cut off somebody's open statement, but I had to make that clear. But go ahead, brother. Sorry about that.
Nah, no problem. Yeah, it was a girl I was dealing with. She wound up having an abortion, and she didn't tell me until afterwards. And unfortunately, we stopped dealing with each other because she felt like I didn't feel a certain kind of way that she did it or something like that. I was confused because you already had the abortion, so you ain't even come talk to me about it. So the fact that you want me to feel some type of way afterwards is crazy. Another situation, I was dealing with a female. I don't know if she had an abortion or not, but let her tell me she had multiple miscarriages. It was kind of weird, but I was young, and that's when I started learning that, you know, it's not up for you to decide if you have a kid or not. It's up to them. And then I seen a couple weird stats that said one of them was that ever since 1973, since abortion got legalized, that Black women aborted 40% of the kids since then. And I just wanted to see what the number was because, you know, at the percentage we at is 13%. The fact that we've been at that same number, I think they said for almost like 40 plus years, we've been at the same percentage of what we make up in America is 13%. so I just wanted to see why that number didn't grow. And I think since 1973, I think the stat said that Black women has killed over 19 million kids. It was between 19 million and 27 million kids. I thought that was crazy. I still think that's crazy. And even every year, it seems like Black women leading in abortions. Yeah, it's crazy at this point because like you said, it's up for them to decide if they want to have a baby with you or not. It ain't even up for you to decide. So and even if they do have the baby, again, I seen another study says that 40% of the kids that's tested is not the original father's kid. So it's almost a 50-50 chance if your girl get pregnant, you probably ain't even the father. So yeah, shit like that is hella scary, man. It's a scary situation. So I advise everybody, it don't matter how much you think your girl loyal you or not, man, get that child tested, man, because it can go either way nowadays.
Well, I will tell you the rule over here at the Roger Report Live is you test all your newborn babies. Period. That's just standard operating procedure. You know, and this should spread amongst all Black men. That's just standard operating procedure. If a woman has a pregnancy from a Black man, she should expect her child to be tested. But we got, as men, got to start telling women that's what we expect through the door. Not 2 years in. No, at the beginning, this is the standard. That y'all, if you claim the baby belongs to me, I don't care, we married, not married, whatever the case is, the child will be tested before I sign anything saying that child is mine. That's just the standard over here. Okay. I don't know why men won't participate in that standard outside of fear. I have no idea why a man wouldn't participate in that standard. Now, my thing is this. That's why I say this was the presumed father or assumed father. She said, you got me pregnant to this man some kind of way. So she's implying that that baby is his. Now, maybe she was faithful. Maybe she wasn't. We don't know. But she told him. So she made him believe that, hey, there's a possibility that this baby is mine. So he acted upon his child. Now, my thing is, if he acted upon his child and he got an abortion, and he should have the equal protection under the law from a murder charge. He didn't do anything radical. He didn't beat her up or anything like that. I mean, you could say maybe him getting her to take whatever pills she took was radical. It's like a radical idea because we ain't heard about nothing like that before.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I can't hit him with murder if it's legal for her to do it. It's legal for him to do it.
Yeah, I understand that, and I still think that's foul because there's a man slipping a girl a pill. That's weird, bro. Just let it go and let life take you wherever it's gonna take you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never want to be the reason why a kid die. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know though. I might disagree with you on that because he had a response. He said in the story, he was helping her make a decision. I'm just saying that response is gangster, to tell you the truth. Because they're always telling us they need, we're supposed to be men. You make the decisions. You make the decisions. He made a decision. So if they want a strong leader for a man, it seems to me like he took the role seriously. Now, the ground that he did it on, that's him. That's between him and his. I can't. That's for leader. If a leader make a call regarding his tribe, who am I to question? His decision.
Yeah,
I'm in the tribe.
I'm at the point where I think we have to force these women, not physically force them, but we have to somewhat force these women to have these kids because, again, our race is declining race. Is a declining race.
I can't co-sign with you on that.
Hold on, and that's going into a whole different subject, man. We ain't gonna talk about that today. I'm talking about that we got a case here. No. The issue is there's a case where a man calls an abortion the same way women cause an abortion. But when he do it, they call him murder, or they want to charge him with murder. He's supposed to have equal protection under the law. So if he did exactly what the women do, he's supposed to have that same protection. So I'm gonna say shout out to Trey Bennett. He says aggravated assault. I wouldn't give him that either. He's supposed to be just as protected as she is. Point blank, period, y'all. As a black man, do you see yourself as valuable as any other human? You live in America, y'all.
Why is you asking for the same amount of protection as a woman do?
No, not asking. It's already yours. If you were a citizen born in this country, it's already yours. You ain't got to ask for it. It's already there.
Hey, Roger, can I speak to this? I am a feminist. And I believe in equality. So all I'm saying is, me and my peoples have been putting through feminism for the last 60 years, and all we want is equality. I think equal rights under the law is something that's important to everybody. Ain't that supposed to be what the Constitution's about? So I'm just saying,
not in this particular situation.
So then
what makes this different? Why in this situation he shouldn't get equal protection under the law?
Right.
Well, as men, we should understand that when we running up in women, it's our choice to decide if we want to shoot the club.
That's not what's in question. That ain't what's in question. Getting people pregnant is not in question at all. The only thing in question is why are they charging a man for murder for something that's totally legal to do?
Is they charging them, or they just say, "Oh yeah, that should be murder"?
No, they're
charging them with murder.
Oh, okay.
Just like they tried to charge Diddy with thing there, the whatchamacallit, racketeering by itself. It's insanity.
Yeah. It's not too much insanity, but you can't be moving like that out here.
No. Regardless of how he moved, he an American citizen. Are you saying because he's a black man, he shouldn't get equal protection under the law? Because that's what I'm hearing.
I'm talking about any man shouldn't be having equal protection in that situation.
Do you believe a man who is a citizen of this country should have the same access that everybody has to the rights of this country?
I keep saying in certain situations, no.
So you don't believe men should have the rights that women do?
Well, we don't.
No. I'm asking what you want. I ain't asking what it is. I'm asking what you want. Yeah. Do you think a man should have equal protection under the law? You said in certain situations, which means you don't believe a man should have equal protection under the law. You believe it's circumstantial.
Yeah, it is.
That's what you're saying.
We have different responsibilities.
No. I asked you what you wanted. You said men should not have equal protection in the law. It should be circumstantial. So you as a man don't believe you should have the rights as other men or other women because for you it's circumstantial.
Yeah, men shouldn't have the same rights as women because the situation is different. We shouldn't be looking to be equal.
Should you have more rights than a woman or should you have less rights than a woman?
Again, it all depends on the situation.
No. You said they shouldn't have the same. Well, if it's not the same, that means it's not going to be equal. So should men have more than women or should men have less than women?
I don't know how to answer that question besides what I'm
just saying. Answer with the truth, bro. Just answer with the truth.
It's situational.
No, I understand you said situations will matter. But now, if it's not equal, that means one got to have more and one got to have less. So who should have more and who should have less? Should the men have more or should the women have more?
The women should have more.
So women should be in a position that a man can never achieve based on what you want.
Ask that question again.
So I'm really more of a statement, but men should never be able to achieve the position a woman can because of what you want. You saying women should be better off than men. And my thing is that if that's your belief, that's fine. But we just need to know where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's what I think. Situational though. I don't want to say in all situations it should be like that, but who should get to judge what the situations are then? We'll probably have to. I don't know. That's another topic for another day. I don't know.
Well, here, I'll help out with a little logic. The biggest flaw in what you just said was that would be a promotion of inequality, which means everything that's been unequal in this country for the last 200 years, you would have to be okay with. Are you comfortable with that?
It's already been like that.
I'm just asking, are you comfortable with that continuing?
Again, it's already been like that. I don't.
That's
Bro,
not the
he asked you
question.
about what you're comfortable with, not about what's been going on.
I'll learn to be comfortable with that. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, we got your point.
Okay. And I'm gonna say this is one of the major issues with black men. And my thing is, y'all, we should be able to openly admit it if this is what we think. We believe, and I'm saying we, just to make it easy for people, because we got somebody in the chat who seems to be going down this road too. We believe we should be second-class citizens. And my thing is, if that's your belief, just stand on it strong. Be 10 toes down about the fact that you think you should be a second-class citizen.
Yes, because I'm even at the point where all of this keep running up in females and nothing in them and going to the next one and doing the same. I'm not really for that. That's really just creating broken homes.
No, brother, that's not even the issue. You don't believe a man should have the same right a woman should have.
Again, and I told you at first,
let's not try to cover it up, bro. You don't think men should have the rights the way women should have rights. You think women should be able to get pregnant by any old random man, but you don't think the man should be able to run into any old random woman.
In that situation, no, we shouldn't have the same rights.
So women should be able to have pregnancies by any random man whenever they feel like it, but the man shouldn't be able to pregnate any random woman when he feel like it.
Exactly. Because like I told you, it's up to us. It's our opinion. It's our.
Oh, no. Hold fast. Let me bring in. That was something interesting, but let me bring in murder was the case that they gave me. Let him get in right here. It's for an open statement, and then we'll keep it going.
I gotta stop before Chef think I'm trolling again.
No. Well, I ain't seen Chef say nothing in the chat. I ain't seen. I think you're all right now. Or let me say this, Chef, give him at least another 10 minutes before you say he trolled it, okay? If you was even going in that direction, because I don't see no evidence in the chat that you're going in that direction, nor do I see it from the pit crew at all, because I don't see Mr. Sugar to you ain't said nothing that I seen, and I ain't seen J-Dub say nothing, so I think you safe right now. I think you safe. But murder was the case that they gave me. You have the floor. Go ahead, my brother.
What's up, everybody? You can hear me good, Roger? No. I got my earpiece in.
You're a little low, but you sound okay. Y'all hear him fine, don't y'all?
All right, I switched it up. I'm good now.
Yeah, that was more usual. Yeah.
All right. Peace to the chat. Peace everybody. Peace, Truth Teller Santana. How y'all doing? Peace to everybody out there. Yo, well, I don't. From what you were saying and what is logic, I don't see him getting. Hopefully, he doesn't get charged with murder. But what Santana was kind of saying earlier it kind of made me think twice about this now, because it's literally considered their child. So you don't have any say over if it gets deleted or not. You just have say once it comes into the world. So he might be in trouble. You know what I mean? Now, if he gets off for that murder case, then that sets a whole new precedent, and we might be seeing some new laws coming into play. You know what I mean? Or at least a person is able to do, you know what I mean? At least people such as myself, I could give her a blueberry smoothie, and I don't have to worry about no law enforcement or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So this is a very interesting case. And I'm surprised. Is this like very recent? Because I'm surprised I didn't hear anybody else talking about this. Because like this should be talked about throughout the whole red, blue, pink, and black pill thing right now.
Well, it may be a case that other people just look at it as just a nigga, we don't care. Which I'm pretty sure the court system was going to look at it as just a nigga, we don't care. Which is why I encourage black men to try to start getting on jury duty. You don't know what case you're going to get. You don't know what impact you can have by just being on the right jury at the right time.
Truth, you said it happened before already?
Yeah, these things have happened before. And they charged the guy.
But in a court case, though?
Yeah, a court case. He gets charged with murder. That's actually a law in most states. But what we're pointing out is the hypocrisy with the law, because one law says it's not a person, and then one law says it's a person, so therefore you can get charged with murder. So now we're like, okay, well, if the woman could do it and it's not murder, and then the guy does it and it is murder, is it really the actions that are determined as murder, or is it the bias against men in the legal system that's making this determination?
Well, I think they're going to go with it's her body, her choice, and like you don't have a say.
I'm a feminist player. I believe in it. I believe in it. Her body, her choice.
This is what I'm bringing to the table. What I'm saying is, in this particular case, he did what's absolutely legal. Think about it. A parent of a child, while the child is in the womb, can have the child aborted. That's what the law say. In this particular case, a parent of the child, while it was in the womb, had the child aborted. See, once you remove gender, the exact same thing happened. A parent of a child can take a pill to end the pregnancy. A parent of the child took a pill to end the pregnancy.
Right. Hey, Roger, let me ask you a question. Let's say if this girl was dealing with another guy, and she told both guys that's a possibility that they both can be the child's father, and the guy went and did it anyway. He slipped a pill and did that. Would you still feel the same way?
Bro, he was told, this your child. I don't care if she told 12 men that's her child. If a man act like that's his child.
It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they say.
No. You can't prove the child he is until the child born. You told him it was his child, and he acted as the child's father. At the end of the day, he's a parent. A parent.
He should go to jail.
No. A parent can abort their child. That's what the law say.
But she also
that ain't what that say.
No. A parent can abort their child. That is the law. A parent can. And in this case, a parent did.
I feel you on that. Yeah, I still think he in the wrong. And
where's the wrong? I'm talking about what the law say. Because it was a time.
Regardless of what she's talking about.
Hold on. We would never argue that slavery was right, but there was a time it was legal outside of being convicted of a crime. Right now, it's only legal if you've been convicted of a crime. I'm still not saying that's right. That should be ended too. But people move according to what the law say they can and can't do. For the most part, there's always going to be some people outside the law. But right now, the law say the parent can do an abortion. The parent did an abortion. So what is the problem? When she aborted the child, it's no problem. So he aborted the child. Why should there be a problem now?
Again, quality could be rough, man. Quality could be rough.
That's why I really wanted to bring up that hypothetical, because it's not always a guarantee, no matter what she says, that if it's your child or not. I think we should always go in with that mindset.
But that's irrelevant because the court takes her word for it. So if she goes into court and says, you're the father, and let's say they'll designate a test in some cases. Some cases, if let's say you don't live in the state, you don't even get notified, you suddenly the father.
Nah, but I think
whether you get notified or not.
I think what Santana was trying to say is she go to court and say Roger and Truth tell her, I don't know who is the father.
Right. No. But what his scenario is if she tells both of them that they're the father. That's what his scenario was.
It's a possibility.
whether it's possibility or not, you're telling them that, hey, there's a chance you the father.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you go give her the blue pill, and Roger might
Yeah.
have still wanted the kid though.
Hey, she shouldn't have been messing around. She caused the confusion. Because at
Oh
that
wow.
point, because at
Wow.
that point in reality, they're both the father. Until it's
And this,
determined that they're not. Schrodinger's cat. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but that's what that scenario is.
and I'm saying, if you tell me that's my child, why you tripping? I'm acting like a parent. That don't make sense. You said the kid mad, right? So let me start acting like a parent. And
But
guess what?
how you
Parents
gonna be
have
a
a
parent?
right.
Ain't no kid. How you gonna be a parent? Ain't no
Parents have
kid.
a right to abort a pregnancy. That's the law. Now we don't like the law. We can change the law, but that's what the law is.
No,
Okay, now
Roger.
answer this one question. Is
Roger,
it a
when you
law
say
that say
Roger, when you say parents, that implies two people.
They and both
The
people have
woman
that
has
right
the
because
right.
there's equal protection under the law.
No, but the woman has the right. That's what I'm saying. He might be in trouble because you don't have no right. All you can do is
exactly?
suggest it.
No, this is the thing. You don't have a right to her body. You do have equal protection under the law. That's why I said if there's an actual law on the books for slipping that woman to Mickey, they can get him on that. But murder? Nah, bro, he aborted his own kid. He didn't abort somebody else's kid.
Nah, I think
He aborted his own.
the only way you get off on that is what Truth Teller said, which
No,
is it's not a baby, it's not a full. They can categorize it as it's not such and such until 20 weeks. But if you're gonna go with from conception that it's a person,
no.
he don't
This is what
have
I'm
rights.
saying. This is what I'm saying. The same way it's legal for her is the same way it's legal for him. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we got to
That's not
change
true.
what the laws are.
Nah,
We could, but I'm
Nah, that's
saying
not
what the
true.
law is at the moment that it happened, that the law is what the law is.
Did
Just
it say
like
how
slavery was legal throughout the country back in the day, or we'll say the southern part of the country back in the day, it was legal then. I ain't saying it was good. I ain't saying it was right. I'm saying it was legal.
Did it say how many months she was?
7. No, I
7?
mean 7 weeks. 7 weeks. 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Am I right?
Now, let me say this. Let me say this real quick. Looks like Bobby Price is trying to come up. Brother, your connection is not strong enough for me to get you on the panel. I'm assuming you coming on the phone. Turn your phone off, turn your phone on. That should clear that up and I'll be able to bring you up. But right now, your connection is not strong enough for me to bring on the panel. And you're welcome to give you, because you obviously got some things you want to say, and we're welcome to hear your side of the argument. So just turn your phone off, turn it back on, and try to come back up, brother.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, Roger. Like, they both should have the same rights, but you don't have rights over her body. And if now that's what I'm saying. Like with Urus, well, I'm going with what Truth Teller saying. They talk about it's not a kid. 7 months. 7 weeks. They say it's not a life. So, what is he getting in trouble for other than slipping a Mickey?
Wait, so what is a 7-week-old baby? I mean, still in a womb.
Well, it
according
depends.
to them.
Just so y'all say, it depends on the state because different states have different weeks. But we're
Okay,
gonna
so
go
what is
with
a 7-week?
what. Well, hold on. We're gonna go with what us feminists have been fighting for. To either have no restriction, on age of the baby, or to have it like at 20 weeks, or however. But most states is around 6, 7. I think the most is 8 weeks. So depending on the state they was in, he might have already passed the time frame. But we're just speaking on the lines of women want it whenever they want it. So however old the baby is, heartbeat or not,
That doesn't matter.
No. It happened in the state of Illinois. At this particular juncture, I am pretty sure she can get an abortion if she wanted one. Now, the thing is, she did not want one. And I'm not saying she don't have a right to say she don't want one. What I am saying is a parent can abort a child.
Damn, Roger.
In these circumstances.
No.
I just looked it up.
A parent can go to the chop shop and abort their child.
A
Parent,
mother.
can take a pill to abort their child.
The mother,
woman.
Roger, you gotta be
No.
specific.
It's equal protection under the law.
Bro,
If a parent can do it, a parent can do it.
Obviously, it's not.
Exactly.
No.
I understand
You, as men of the society, if you believe you should not have equal protection,
Nobody
then
said
you're not gonna see that the man should be protected to be able to do the exact same thing the woman can do. I understand we're supposed to have equal protection under the law. He's no less of a person than she is. So if it's legal for her, it's legal for him. The whole thing about my body, my choice is about the fact that you can pretty much do what you want with your own body as long as you're not damaging somebody else's property or person. He didn't damage other people's property or he damaged his own. His child is who gone. His child. Have that DNA as his. But just like when a woman go get rid of a child, have that DNA as her. She don't need the person with the other half of the DNA to sign off. So he don't need the person with the other half of the DNA to sign off.
Hey Roger, let me ask
but
you
Roger,
a
you using like I be understanding where you coming from sometime. Like the world is the United States of Roger, but bro, it's not. It literally ain't, Roger. All right, like I'm agreeing with you, but when we come back to reality, it's her body, her choice. You don't have nothing to say about nothing that goes on in there until that baby is out, and that's our biggest problem. Like, well, Trick. Like I told you I ain't want no kids, so I should, you know what I mean. So the only thing you can really do is, I think, give up your rights to the baby, but it's not your property, even if it's inside of her. Like, it's not. Now, if she swallowed one of your diamond rings, that's a different story. But it's literally not. But I definitely understand where you're trying to take it to. But
So you're saying next time if he's going to slip a Mickey, he should put a diamond ring in her stomach too, so it could
yeah,
be like, hey man, I'm just trying to get it all flushed out.
No.
there you go.
Let's not get. Let me read this by Black Hoover real quick. He says, "How do you murder a child that society deems not to be a child?" And my thing is that is the right question, because at the end of the day, they play with what's a child over convenience. If they want an extra murder charge on a person, all of a sudden it's a child. But if a woman want to go to the chop shop, it ain't no child at that particular point. So the thing is, it is what it is. So it ain't about the United States of Roger. The United States of America came up with the term equal protection under the law. Equal protection under the law is equal protection under the law.
Let me ask you a question, Roger.
Hold on. I'm making this clear. I'm not saying he's right for slipping a woman a Mickey. Whatever law applies to that, I'm sure you could get him on. But
I'm not even finna take
to turn this into a murder charge, I cannot give you a conviction on a murder charge because he has equal protection under the law.
Let me ask you this question. We can pass to somebody else. I just want to. So, what is a 7-week-old whatever in their stomach? What is that called?
A zygote.
I think it's called zygote. Something you can get rid of.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on now.
No. We're talking about it from a legal perspective, bro.
Roger, real.
I'm not making. No. Understand this. Understand this.
Giving you a real
I'm not
answer,
making I'm not making
that
a
ain't
moral
no real
argument.
answer.
I'm not. I'm not.
Law.
No, listen, bro. I'm not making a moral argument. I'm talking about what a legal argument is.
Yeah.
But right now, it's something you can get rid of.
It's not. They don't even consider it a living being. They argue the point of conception.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
So whether they do or not, it's something you can get rid of, and that's what the man did. He got rid of it.
It's actually called a feces, and if you look up the
you can call it Pluto. You can get rid of it.
Doodle, that's in the back, not in the front.
Oh my God! You meant fetus? You meant fetus, not feces. Like,
hold on. Let's keep some order. Hey, hold on, y'all. We're gonna keep some order. We ain't gonna get out of pocket. We're gonna keep some order. Let me get these new guys in. But we do got the Ivy League that showed up, so I gotta get him the mic first. Okay. All right. So tall. He say tall, crazy as hell. I'm thinking you meant to put that as, there you go. Y'all crazy as hell. You have the flow, my brother. Go ahead.
Give me a second. Let truth teller go first. I need a second.
Wait, truth teller went.
I went already. I've been here for a
All
while,
right,
but I'm gonna just give one.
I'll come back in a minute. I'm sorry. I need a second.
This might help though. Just so y'all know, the law in Illinois is 24 weeks to have an abortion. In my state, Florida, it's 7. So if he did it in Florida, yeah, they could charge him murder.
He's right with money.
But he wasn't in Florida. Now, no, y'all, hold fast.
Yeah, exactly. And then plus,
hold on, Jay Moore, get in for an opening statement. Say what you got to say. If the Ivy Leaguer's back, he'll go. If he's not back, we're gonna give it to Kevin. All right, go ahead, Jay Moore.
What's up, guys? One thing I can say is that man did nothing wrong, in my opinion. He did a goddamn good job. Honestly, I think a lot of dudes need to start doing this shit, taking the power back into their own hands too. Screw it, because I'm tired of this stuff. Because it's like, honestly, in my opinion, it's like, yo, it's better off her. Like, what's called back in the day, chicks used to put wire hangers up in their stuff to get rid of that kid. They were desperate to get rid of that stuff. Now all of a sudden he just pop a pill, and all of a sudden it's a problem. That's the nicest way he could do it. He could have just made her roll down the stairs 3 times by accident. See, problem could have been solved either way, but now they're just making up a law to just catch him because he's just a nigga. Like, they don't care. They just want to get him. That's really the issue. They're just trying to make it up, trying to say, "Oh, it's a life." But the fact that, like what Roger's saying too, she gets the right to kill the kid, but all of a sudden when he does it, it's problems. That's not fair. Like, it need to be equal. Equal rights underneath the law. If she's able to chop that kid up, I should be able to chop that kid up too. I should be able to go into the abortion clinic and put my hands in and chop that kid up my damn stuff. Must be like your damn mind. You get to do it by yourself. No.
All right. Well, just to get clarification, I am not saying that it's okay to harm the woman. So throwing her down the stairs, see, now you're harming her.
Bugging.
He didn't do nothing.
I didn't say throw her down the stairs. I said she fell down the stairs accidentally.
Yeah,
I didn't do nothing.
You putting words in his mouth.
Okay, well,
Roger.
I'm just saying I am not going to promote the women be injured. I'm saying in this particular case, the man didn't injure the lady. He just did what the lady is legally allowed to do. Now, if he'd have beat her up and she lost the baby, that's a different scenario, different thing. Now there's an assault. You know what I'm saying? You can play. You got something to play with there. He didn't do none of this stuff. The only thing he did was the exact thing she could do. But let me let Kevin 3905 have the flow. What? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, well, you go. Then we get Kevin in.
All right. So first of all, this is insane. You can't go around Mickey and people. And what he did was absolutely illegal because we want Carly B charged for the same stuff. Now, I do understand the fact that, okay, if she took the Plan B pill, I'm assuming it's the Plan B pill, then no harm, no foul. However, there's a couple things missing here. Number one, it's her body, right? You're also affecting her body, right? Her stink meat changes once you take that pill.
God damn.
Right? Huh?
I'm sorry. No, nothing. I'm
okay.
Talking myself. Sorry.
Her stink meat changes as you give her the pill, and again, it's not in consent. Number two, he is not a licensed physician, so for these reasons. Without consent, not being a licensed physician, you can. Well, I mean, I don't know how they're trumping him for murder. It could be a couple reasons, right? He's not a physician. Giving medicine that causes bodily harm that could affect her life, depending on the dosage, could also be murder as well. And then on top of that, possession is 9/10 of the rule. Until that little bastard comes out of that stinky hole, it belongs to her. And I'll pass the mic on that.
Well, I'm gonna give it to Kevin, but before I do, I'm just gonna say no medicine was administered. Medicine is stuff you give to heal people. He gave her something to get rid of a child. No medicine was administered.
Plan B pill, right? So you gave her.
It's not a medicine.
Okay, fine. It's not medicine, but he gave her a foreign substance that changes her coochie
I
dynamic.
totally agree with him being charged with property knowledge about slipping her Mickey.
Right.
Murder is the problem.
Yeah, but I just explained to you why murder is, right?
Bro, that what he did is not murder. That's what I'm saying. It don't even sound like murder. I heard this. It don't sound nothing close to murder.
You don't want to hear it as murder, but I just explained it to you.
No. It's not murder because it's his kid.
No. 9/10 of it until that little bastard comes out. 9/10 of the rule is possession.
Yeah.
I don't care nothing about her possession. If the kid is his,
that's the law.
She told him the kid his. He can do what he want with his baby.
But Roger, what she says and what legally is different, right? A man does not have legal right over a kid until it is born.
Let me let Kev get in because there's all kind of places I can go with this. Because truth be told, I want to know, did they even recover a fetus? Because if you didn't recover a fetus, you ain't even got nobody.
Well, Roger, you petty as hell.
That's not petty. That's what's required for murder. Evidence is required for murder.
Yeah, I don't even know she was pregnant. That's just something she claimed. How do I know she's pregnant? But before I get into all that, let's let 3905 get the floor. Go ahead, brother.
Ooh, fellas. I don't believe her. I believe they had a discussion. I believe they had an agreement, and I think she reneged on the agreement because she wasn't having her way about something. I think this is a form of control, as women always do. They use your children against you to control you, even the ones that are not even born yet. Roger talked about this in his opening monologue. When you want the child, they don't want the child. When you don't want the child, they want the child. When the child is born, you want to spend time with the child. They keep the child from you. You don't want to spend time with the child. They do everything they can to use children as a means of control and as a weapon against this man. I think this is the case here. And if you charge this man with murder for this act, you need to charge every woman that ever had an abortion with murder. Because it's the same damn thing. It's the exact same damn thing. This is craziness, bro. This is literally saying, as a man, your rights are less than or non-existent where they exist for a woman.
But we knew that, though.
I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you.
So I'm not saying what he did was right, but I think at the most you charge him with administering a foreign substance to somebody. At the most, it sucks. But that's the most he did. And what? She didn't see it? What happened?
Yeah, how does she know he gave her something?
Exactly.
How do I know she was ever pregnant if you ain't got no fetus?
Yeah, and also, how was she? That's the only thing she drank or ate in the last 3 weeks. What? That's the only place she ate or drank in the last 2 or 3 weeks? I don't believe this chick.
He told her though.
I don't believe this chick.
He gave it to her though, right?
He told her.
Yeah.
No, he eventually made an admission that if you really want to get petty, we can say he don't have the skill level to even make that admission. He don't know what he did. If he ain't in the medical field, he just don't know what he's talking about.
So this is about control. They were having a discussion as to whether to keep this kid or not keep this kid. She couldn't make up her mind. He made up her mind for them. He made a decision. He made an executive decision. That's what he did. He made an executive decision. We've been going back and forth about this thing. He made an executive decision. Now she mad because he took control. The last thing a woman, especially a black woman, want a man to do is take control from her in any situation. That's what this is all about.
It's like on one hand you saying that he wrong, and then on the other hand you trying to give him out for being right. It's like, which one is he wrong or right, and stand on that?
I'm saying two things can be true. I'm saying he medically he's wrong because he's not a physician.
Okay, then he's wrong.
Hold on. a second. Let me ask you a question, brother. He's wrong because he's not a physician. He doesn't know if it was safe and all this other stuff. Just in the technicality, she's wrong because she's using this as a form of control. Because if he had not told her, or if he didn't tell her, how the hell she know who gave her what?
And I'm gonna say he not wrong because all he did was abort his own child, and it
That's
only takes
confusing.
half. It only takes one parent with half the DNA to legally abort a child.
Yeah, and this is Roger's
No, it
world.
don't,
He's
Roger.
Roger, and he's right. He's been telling you that for years.
Yeah, you're right. You're
No,
right.
no,
You're
no.
right.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
You're right, Roger. You're right.
Wait.
You're right,
If
Roger.
a woman is 3 months pregnant and she goes to, you know, sorry, what's this motherfucker's name? Sorry,
I'm talking about
no
Kevin.
placeholder.
Kevin was talking.
No. I'm talking about no placeholder because you're gonna get mad at me for what I'm about to say. So no placeholder. I'm sorry in advance. But if she's 3 months pregnant and then she go to the Jamaican lady for some stuff, she's getting arrested.
She is. I'm sorry. She.
She's getting arrested.
So hold on,
Okay.
because
Hold on.
the law
Hold
did.
on.
Well, hold on. Wait. I
Let me
can
get
kill
this
that
out the
real
way
quick.
from Black Rule. Let me get this out the way from Black
Sorry.
Rule.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. No. You got it. Black Rule
I was just
Strike
gonna say
said.
it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead then. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Nah,
Peter.
it's because that time frame. That's a person by law.
Well,
Go ahead, Roger.
How you
Okay.
fight for the right for abortion and get mad when it's applied?
That sounds crazy as I don't know what. But shout out to Black Rule Strike. He said if you charge him with murder, shouldn't the woman who sold him the abortion pill be charged with conspiracy to commit murder? Sound about
yes,
right to me. She
yes,
definitely an accomplice.
yes,
If he's charged with
absolutely.
murder, she should be charged as an accomplice. And see, notice in that story, it wasn't nothing brought up about she getting charged with anything. So real talk, is the problem the law? Or is the problem men just truly believe they second class citizens?
Well,
Because the law,
The fact that
obviously,
he
hold
think that's
on,
it's
let me finish this up. The law say what a person can do. Okay, that's what the law say. The law say every person that is a citizen of this country has equal protection under the law. It don't say it's equal protection when you comfortable. It don't say equal protection when it feels good. It's a equal protection under the law, period. So if you can do it legally, I can do it legally.
right. But see, here's the situation. So first of all, yes, men do not have the same reproductive rights as women, right? It just has to change. It must change, in order for us to have, to have, in my opinion, in order for us to have families again, you have to change reproductive rights.
how
It's a
can you do
must.
that? How can you do
Well, I
that?
mean that's another discussion for another day, but it must happen. So when it comes to that, yes, men are absolutely second class citizens when it comes to reproductive rights. But see, the tricky part here is where we're failing to realize is that you can do harm because he's not a physician. You could do harm to the other person, right? Because even though like you still cannot outtake that you're giving something to the woman that's going to alter her body.
The man did not act as a physician in any shape, way, or form. He gave her a pill that people are
That's
allowed to
when he
take.
that's when he was act as a physician. That
Well,
is act as a
no, it's
physician.
not because that's an over-the-counter pill.
Listen, when you're giving something that's going to alter the physiology of a person that you're giving to someone else, not giving to yourself, you're acting as a physician.
No, you're not. If it's over the counter, that's like saying
You
giving
are.
her.
You
That's
are.
like saying giving her ibu. That's like saying my wife tells me she has a headache, and I give her ibuprofen and say, "Here, this should help," and it
Yeah,
doesn't help.
and then it doesn't help. She
Then
can.
and then I should be arrested because I gave her a pill.
Yes.
No, that's not how the law works.
Yes, she can.
I know.
Yes,
Well, hold on.
Nigga, no, she
Hold on.
can't.
Let's not argue. Let's not argue. At this point, if I want to go buy some aspirin and give it to somebody, it ain't illegal. If I go buy some Tylenol and give it to somebody, it ain't illegal. It's about what the law is.
No. You look it up. If you administer substance like aspirin or something to someone else and they have an adverse reaction to it, you can be brought up on charges. It has happened before.
Okay, you can be brought up on
She didn't
charges.
have an adverse reaction.
No, being brought up on charges is not illegal, and being brought up on charges does not mean you're guilty of a crime.
There's people that been prosecuted and convicted for that.
She did not have an adverse reaction.
Right. No. Hold fast, everybody.
That's what I said earlier. I said that earlier too.
Tunnel Runner then came up. So let me get Tunnel Runner in here. Go ahead, Tunnel Runner.
Roger. I would just have to make sure I get you as assistant to my attorney when I need to. You will be the assistant to my attorney because I like I like where you're going. You definitely would be asset to my legal team. Thank you,
hey, brother. I'm there. We'll work out payment later. I'm there.
I'm gonna have all y'all niggas locked up. Remember, this dude is from Southside Chicago, right? And he gonna have all y'all locked up.
When you're in some of the worst places, sometimes you got to develop the most brilliant minds. Real talk.
My contention is he can't be charged for murder because he didn't kill nobody. So, you know.
Well, yeah, we don't like all that stuff isn't true. If it happened, okay, those are all very, very fair points. But if it comes out that there was a fetus and things like that, then you can. It was because I look at. Well, but actually, depending on the state, because now. Chop shop is illegal in certain places, so it depends on the state.
Not this state. 24 weeks. Yeah,
you can do it here.
24 weeks. My state, Florida, 7 weeks.
Okay,
and I'm still challenging. There was no adverse reaction. The medicine worked as it was supposed to. There was no adverse reaction.
That is true.
Whether there's adverse reactions or not, he still acted as the physician in this case, which is illegal.
Well,
right, but
if you want to get him on a crime, then you better come up with something about him acting as a physician, which maybe somebody will convict him over. But murder, I can't convict a man on murder who didn't murder nobody.
Hey, Roger, I would take you as my assistant, and Hot Sauce could be the prosecution. He could be prosecuting. And I will take you, Roger, as my.
Oh, yeah, we in and out in 2 days. Then we in and out. No, I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you, bro.
I done my trial in high school. Right, we are city champs, so just let you know. I'm telling you, bro. Because we have like I told you, I have a debate company where we teach kids how to debate and stuff like that. These kind of things come up, like what is it, physician assistant, assistant death, and things like that. So we have actually had these types of. And if you give people this type of, if you administer this type of substance, then you are acting as a physician under federal law.
Okay. Now,
yeah, I think Roger Roger already.
What type?
Well, no, hold on. Let me go down that route because Roger already conceded to that if they're going to get him, they should charge him for giving giving her a thing there.
So let's say this, right? If there was, hear me out. If there was a fetus, right? If there was a fetus, and he administered this, even under consent, this would still be homicide because physicians who have consent administer those, they still go to jail. So that would be one way he could be prosecuted for murder.
Right, but then there's another law that sets the context of that it's not a person until after 24 weeks. So if the law is saying a person is two different things, somebody has to make it fit, right?
And I'm saying I'm protected under the law for aborting my own child for 24 weeks. Because if I'm the parent,
It wasn't a child.
I'm protected
Wasn't a
from a
child.
murder charge. Now, the thing is, can we as black men get past the fact that now it's the man that caused the abortion instead of the woman? Because the law say I got up to this amount of time to have an abortion. That's what that brother did. So what's the problem?
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone is gonna. I don't think anyone is gonna say, well, okay, no, it's crazy. Put them on murder, right? I mean, that's fair because if women can do it, men can do it. I mean, that's fine. That's fair. I'm just saying there are ways to get him on murder, but I mean, but what he did was wrong, right? What you know, giving people substance without consent is wrong. Now, if we want to talk about, okay, was it murder or not? It says it's okay for her to do it, then fine. You can't charge her for murder. Okay, that's fair. But this is still crazy because at the end of the day, it's still wrong. It's still illegal.
Well, the thing is, I'm not presenting an argument whether he did was right or wrong. I'm looking at what he actually did and how he should be charged and how it should be processed when it comes to the law. Now, more than likely, this will never go to trial. Because number one, the guy already made some very stupid mistakes. He ain't stand on business. Because whatever he did, whatever he gave up, the dude admitted to it. You don't tell on yourself. If you gonna do something, if you going that far, you stand on business and say, bro, I don't even know she was pregnant. She's not pregnant. If she was pregnant, I would know she pregnant. If she was pregnant, she would have told me. Because if she told me this face to face, she didn't tell me no text message, and I did something like this, bro, she not pregnant. How you know she pregnant? If she was pregnant, I would know she pregnant. What she said she told you, she ain't told me nothing. She not pregnant. It's that simple right there.
She's with my autographed Michael Jordan jersey, and if you want to find her, you just need to go ahead and find my jersey.
I'm saying this brother did make some mistakes, and I'm not saying what he did is right. I'm saying if you're gonna do something, you're supposed to do it. So if you're gonna do it, you got to stand on the fact that you did it. Bro, she was never pregnant. If she was pregnant, I would know. She say she told you. Well, when did she tell me? You tell me when she told me. Well, she said such and such at such and such time. Okay, well, I don't know that she told that to me. So what are you talking about? Now, how you gonna prove that? How you gonna prove I even got the knowledge she was pregnant? That's number one. Now, my thing is, besides all that, legally, what did he do wrong? I said from the beginning, he wrong for slipping her a Mickey. Whatever laws that go along with that, that's what he should be charged for. But if you have a trial and he gets charged for murder, any good attorney should be able to beat this case, and this will just come down to he was overcharged, and therefore he'll get acquitted, and now he ain't got nothing to worry about. And now the lawmakers got to go back and change something. Because this is just too much. You know, and I'm gonna say shout out real quick to Inspire True Broadcast who said text messages. We don't know that it was told in the text. Now, if it was told in the text, that's a different story. And that's my point. If she just told him she was pregnant, I don't even know she's pregnant. Because I'm not gonna tell her myself. Now the most honest man that I've ever witnessed told me that. That was my daddy. I ain't never seen him lie. I am not gonna tell you my daddy is the age he got to and ain't never lied about nothing, because that seems a little crazy. But I ain't never witnessed it. And he told me don't tell him yourself. So obviously that's a very important function. So the man made some mistakes that got him in trouble, if we really want to pay attention to this. I'm not saying he should have did it, but even though he did it, he should be charged according to what he actually did. He didn't murder nobody. He just had an abortion. And that's legal. Had he done it in a different state, cool. I got you. Okay. If it's illegal in that state, I understand. But it's legal in Illinois. So I don't see what the problem is. So you charge them for slipping the girl to Mickey. I know there's got to be a law associated with that. You hit him with that, and maybe they don't want to do that because maybe that law say he just pay a $300 fine or something. Maybe it's just way too light. Maybe it's 1 year in jail maximum or something like that. Maybe it don't come with much of a punishment. Well, that ain't his problem right now. The law is what the law is right now. And my thing is, as black men, do we accept that we're actually men and the same law that protects other people should also protect us? That's what I'm saying.
I do want to point out one thing, and y'all gonna hate me for this, but and we always talk about this, how women can just shrug off inequality when they're benefiting. They can shrug off when everybody else is losing. You know, a whole bunch of us was on this panel and could not do that. It took us some time to come to that understanding that in order to be on top, you're going to have to do that. But the women automatically know it to begin with. I think we just need to learn a few lessons from these ladies, you know, and you know, eat the meat, spit out the bones, and move forward so we can get to where we need to be.
Well, my thing is, it's okay for us to stand on something too. Other people stand on stuff all the time. Why we can't stand on something? Man, it's equal protection under the law. Y'all, stuff is phrased specific ways, sometimes for very diabolical purposes. Okay, they could have made a much better phrase than equal protection under the law, but that's the phrase they made. So my thing is, she's protected from being a murderer under this circumstance. I did this thing that protects women from being murdered in the same circumstance. If it protects her from murder, it's got to protect me from murder. I don't care what you feel about it. That's what we got on paper right now. If you don't like it, go change it. It's that simple at the end of the day. Now, sometimes changing stuff takes some stuff. I done brought up slavery multiple times. Slavery wasn't changed till we had a war. Well, sometimes it take a war. But right now, it says, and shout out to Truth Teller for looking it up. It say I got 24 weeks, man. So I don't want to hear nothing about no murder if I did it within 24 weeks. Because that's what this state say. And guess what? It's my child, my choice. I don't need the other parent to sign off on an abortion. That's how it's set up. So why you tripping that I did the same thing that she can do whenever she wants? She got 24 weeks to do the same thing I did. Now, just because she didn't take advantage of that 24 weeks don't mean I can't. And until you put a law in place, you can't tell me I can't.
I wanted to just sidetrack them real quick. So I don't know. You know how I like to make things practical. If anybody here got kids and your wife or your girlfriend, your baby mama, whoever, been pregnant, 24 weeks is essentially 6 months. That's 2/3 of the way through the pregnancy. I don't know if y'all can, but I can. I can think back to when my wife was 6 months pregnant. And you telling me it's legal for me to birth the baby when I can see it extruding from her body and it's all gravy, but now suddenly we got to send this dude to jail? And all these ladies who had up to 24 weeks and maybe did it at 21, 22, 23 weeks, basically at their 6-month pregnancy line, they shouldn't go to jail? Come on, y'all. Come on, man. This is absurd. 2/3 of the way through pregnancy, y'all. 2/3. Pregnancy's 9 months, 6 months is 2/3. You're more than pregnant at that point. That's more than a person. You're 3 months away from giving birth to a U.S. citizen if they're born on this or on these lands. And that it's okay in Illinois to go ahead and stop that from happening.
And let me say this too. Let me say this. Because again, y'all see, I'm not making a moral argument. I'm trying to get black men to see themselves as just as much of a citizen as anybody else. Man, it's babies that come out crying. Woman goes to get an abortion, baby come out crying. That's still considered an abortion, though. The baby literally crying, and some of them are just simply thrown in the trash. You know what's considered trash to them about how to get rid of the body and all that? They are considered trash, and they're thrown in, crying. Now this man, for some reason, all of a sudden, because he got a penis, he can't follow the letter of the law. I am not saying don't get him for giving her something that she didn't want to have. Get him all day. But I do understand the fine can be considered nothing for how people envision the crime. Because maybe that fine is only a year in prison. Maybe that fine is maybe just a $5,000 fine or something like that. You know, it may not be enough for people. But that ain't on him. He just did what he did. The law is what the law is. If the man pleaded guilty, heck, give him some mercy. Don't even give him a full sentence. He pleaded guilty, right? Ain't that what we do for people who plead guilty? You give him half or something. So if he did something that gets you a year in prison, hey, give him 6 months. But he got rid of her child though. I mean, if we care, we care. If we don't, we don't. My thing is, I'm not going to care no more when he do it if we don't care when everybody else do it. Because to me, he deserves the same rights everybody else deserves. He a citizen. So why would I give him less? As a black man, don't he count? Well, I guess maybe he don't to some of y'all. But the way I see it, he's just as much of a man as the rest of us. So he should get the same respect as the rest of us. He should get the same obligations as the rest of us. He should get the same breaks as the rest of us. So if the woman can go do it legally and there's nothing we can say, I don't see why we got to say anything to him. Yeah, get him for slipping her Mickey. Not go ahead. But I don't even want to hear about no murder charge. And if he would take it to trial, which I seriously don't think he will, because if him telling on himself, tell me he ain't gonna have the mindset to take it to trial. Because why would you tell on yourself when you definitely could get away easy with what he did? Because my thing is, unless he texted her, yeah, you don't even have proof that she ever told him
that he was pregnant. Yeah, because I'd have been like, I didn't know. What do you mean? Well, I didn't know.
I'm not gonna say I didn't know. I'm gonna say she's not pregnant to imply I didn't know.
I hear you. I hear you.
Bro, my girl ain't pregnant. You got the wrong guy. My girl ain't even pregnant.
I am gonna say this. He wasn't smart, but I do think it was gangster when he said I had to make a decision. I helped her make a decision. That was gangster because most dudes ain't even saying that publicly. When they made a strategic decision for them and theirs, and we going with it. It don't matter if you like it or not. Yeah, he snitched on himself, but yeah, that was gangster. So maybe he could learn from that, while he's being punished.
Yeah, y'all. All I'm asking for y'all to think about is it okay for a black man to be a black man in all circumstances, not just in certain circumstances. That's all I'm really saying. Okay, I can't endorse what the man did, but why should he be overcharged? It's that simple to me. But y'all, it snuck up on me. 3 hours has actually passed, which snuck up on me because I didn't even see. This didn't even seem like 3 hours went past to me. But I gotta go. So shout out to everybody who came up. Okay, shout out to Hot Sauce. Shout out to Jado. Shout out to Shark Sims, and y'all should know why. Okay, and I'm gonna wrap this up. And I know that's what people gonna say. Well, he should have wrapped it up. Well, maybe he should have, but he did what he did. And my thing is, he should have equal protection under the law as any other American citizen. And that's just real talk. Y'all have a great weekend. Long live. Oh, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay, make sure you subscribe to the channel, y'all. Everybody hit that like button on the way out. And don't forget to hype me up. I don't even know where the hype thing come. I just seen it on a couple of people's stuff. So, hey, if you see it, hype me up. I'll see y'all next time around. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.
Yeah, yeah.